How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm going to show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor. Can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Found, was blind, but now I see.
Okay. Here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. I love my Z5. I love my Z5. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. I love my Z5. I love my Z5. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. I love my Z5. I love my Z5. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah.
Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. Let you make it round the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Hey y'all, it's your man Lloyd Spence, and look, you can find all of the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA and NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, fights, and even next season's NFL futures, all at BetOnline, because BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. So, very easy. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to the website today and use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just go to BetOnline. It's where the game starts.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. NOIZ, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother NOIZ, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle NOIZ, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Not getting high, so not getting high.
We in a better mood tonight. Can't wait for the wishes back. Gonna be a good show.
Good time. Good time.
You know we tired.
Good time. Hey, we lucky we got
Talk that Tuesday's underway. Better not bring your Yo, what's going on, good people? We're back up in the hizzy, baby. That's what the kids say. The hizzy.
Do they?
That's what the kids said 20 years ago.
I'm saying you talking about it like
The kids don't say hizzy no more.
Today.
Man, he's like, I'm getting off here. The kids say hizzy. They say
they
hezzy.
No, they don't.
I hit them with the hezzy. They said it on the basketball court. So hizzy, it ain't that far apart.
Not so sure that's the same thing.
Mama Noise, support me. Support me.
I got your support. You know it.
You know what I'm saying? Support me.
Hi.
What's going on, hot stuff?
I'm good.
I see what you do. I see you looking all Zedalicious.
Oh, I do, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you.
Zedalicious, baby. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hashtag.
How you not to hang up, man?
No, I didn't do it intentionally. What were we talking about? The hizzy?
The hizzy, they say hezzy. Hit him with the hezzy. Hizzy ain't that far away from hezzy.
I
don't even think they say hit him with the hezzy anymore.
No, I hear him say hezzy.
Nah, I'm not.
I hear him say hezzy. The kids say hezzy.
Hezzy, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was before breaking ankles. And then,
no, back in the day, we said the hesitation. We would say the whole thing. We hit him with a hesitation move.
I don't remember that either.
You did. That's because you didn't get off the bench.
Low blow.
It wasn't a low blow. She said she's admitted that on the show herself.
Well,
she said the only reason she got in the game was because the coach thought her mama was fine.
I'm gonna step over here in the corner and let y'all resolve that.
But since you coming with the smoke,
ain't no smoke.
That's absolute smoke.
There's no smoke.
You just said I didn't get off the bench.
You said no. You said you didn't get off the bench. I'm quoting you.
Do I need that to be reminded each time? That was absolutely shade.
Listen, there's no shade because you're a starter in my game.
No, don't be trying to backpedal.
Matter of fact, you first round pick in my game.
Hey, Habib, what up?
Maybe it wasn't shade. Maybe it was just Ron and Cuz showing up.
That's all that was.
What the hell did we walk in on? What happened?
I don't know, but how is it that Slide In Missionary Baptist Church all came in at the same time? What y'all been doing?
We slid in.
Did y'all have...
Yeah, you walked into that.
I did.
Yeah, right into that one there, bro.
Did y'all have like a church meeting or something?
Had to stop dealing with those other people that I work for, and I finally got time off.
Now you got some time with the church where you want to be. I got you. I feel you.
Maybe they had interviews. Maybe they were interviewing for a DJ. I mean, a minister of music.
DJ, minister of music.
You meant what you said the first time.
How hard is it to push play on? Pop that go.
No. You gotta be a real DJ. You gotta be able to mix. No, you can't play a CD, DVDs, and nothing like that. You gotta be out there working it. You gotta do the turntables right.
Okay, all right. Cuz, can I ask a question? Where is your light?
Are you insinuating that you can't see me?
I'm insinuating that you are blending in with that chair.
Screw the light. Wow. He's back in his office. That means the air conditioner's fixed.
Yeah, let's hear for the air conditioner. Woo woo.
It's not fixed now.
Oh, damn.
It's not fixed. You just in there sweating it out.
In a hot box.
That's why I ain't got the light on. Now I understand. Carry on.
Yeah, that light to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to put that light on and not have air.
Sitting on a hot box.
I think it's probably darker because those blinds are open back there. I should close those blinds.
No, okay.
Well, then you'd be.
Well, I just know the ratings go up when you're at your peak sexiness. You didn't have to do that. That wasn't necessary.
Whatever.
Well, listen, while you're doing that, let me call the church to worship. White Organist.
I thought he was off again today.
No, he's here. This nigga got on a white fur. Why you got on a white fur? First of all, what? Oh, no, you're right. He right. Mama Noise does keep it cold in here. I ain't gonna hold you. You right, nigga. I mean, white organist. Can I say nigga to a white organist?
No.
Mama Noise.
Okay. But he's my nigga.
No.
Plus, y'all saw his lady now. His lady fine.
See.
White organist got nigga tendencies.
No. Then that means that Machine Gun Kelly was
no,
right.
he was a full-on Wahite. White organist got nigga tendencies. Y'all see this lady.
Yeah, but his baby mama is a black woman, so
that's what I'm trying to tell you. He got nigga tendencies. Come on now. That's
Machine Gun Kelly's
black man can get love like this.
So if I fall in lust and therefore in love eventually, we start with lust, then we work our way to love. If I start in lust with a white woman, I end up loving a white woman. Do I have white people tendencies?
See, I feel like you're judging white organists right now, and I don't appreciate it. And neither does he. He just took his fur off.
Did your credit score go up? If that's the case, then yes.
I just can't do it. I don't know what
that would be now if your credit score went up.
Well, it really, in my opinion, it's all about whether or not you leave the greens, the beans, potatoes, and tomatoes and go to casseroles.
Do you eat casseroles or you eat
green bean casserole?
Green bean casserole on top of that.
Once you go to casseroles, then you are full on Wahite.
Well, white organist said he liked chitlins, so he ain't for that foolishness.
That doesn't mean he's black. That means he's from the South.
He got nigga tendencies.
I don't know
trying to tell y'all.
Wahite people from the South. That
I don't know any white people that have. I don't know any white people eat chitlins. Period.
White people eat everything. Black people eat in the South.
Everything.
That's a fact.
They must
I ain't
have
never seen
special ones. I've never met any. They be like, "What are chitterlings?" They be trying to get
a white chitlin either.
You gotta leave the north of Kentucky. You can't be in Kentucky talking about you in the South.
First of all, Kentucky is the gateway to the South.
I was getting ready to say so, but you know what? He be trying to
just like Mississippi is the booty hole of the South.
It ain't the South because you mother hubbers don't eat crystals. You eat White Castle.
Wait a minute.
First of all, let's clear up some of the lies and propaganda. Crystals is not Southern at all. That's just people that ain't got no real money.
And real hamburger. It's
damn it, if that's the marker, then shit, call me Union.
Crystals is very Southern.
Crystals ain't Southern at all.
All that bread is like a big old biscuit.
Everybody want that nasty shit.
Look at Arkansas. I guarantee you it has crystals and not White Castle.
Oh.
Because they don't know no better.
Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Crystals, not White Castle.
That don't make it right. That just makes it racist.
What is the common denominator? Raggedy. So
notice, hold on. Notice that crystal is spelled with a K.
Wait, did you say raggedy?
That's what
raggedy. Crystals is spelled with a K. They try to tell y'all something. Come over here and eat this Klan food. Plus, y'all hush. White organists got to go. Just chill out for a minute. Go ahead. Tonight we having a very special, very special Talkin Noise where we're going to have to pray for the souls of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Didn't know that prior to the start of this show, but apparently them misinformed, uninformed, uneducated heathens down there have somehow elevated crystals to a place of delicacy. Surely they need prayer. Surely it needs to start tonight with the laying on of hands. So thank you for coming to Talkin Noise. And tonight our mission is clear. to deal with the subject at hand and to pray for the misguided and the lost. Thank you, White Organist, and thank you for showing up tonight.
Oh my God.
There you go. Crystals. Why don't you start a Klan rally?
Oh my gosh.
See the same thing.
Damn, a Klan rally?
I'm sure they're catered by crystals.
It's catered by the Klan.
When your fellow talk show hosts, the noise makers, when they show up, they run it late. When they show up, you present that same question and you will get the same answer.
Crystals versus White Castles? You are going to get a rude awakening here tonight, sir.
Crystals is Southern. White Castle is Northern. That's the
Crystals
whole
is nasty.
I never said anything about taste. That's your argument because you don't want to be wrong.
We're not wrong. There's nothing. Don't nobody want no nasty, funky crystals. And it is not Southern.
And
stop saying that shit.
Can I say for the record, there is a Crystals in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The place you say is not part of the South.
We just don't ever go there.
Nobody went there. And nobody went there. And then the White Castles was built down the street.
On the border.
Look like the noisemakers are showing up. They're chiming in.
Certain parts of Tennessee is very, close to. Certain parts of Kentucky is right on the border with Tennessee.
It's still Kentucky. It's still part of the South.
No. That's like saying Brownsville, Texas is not Mexico. That's motherfucking Mexico if I ever seen it.
Oh, this nigga. We're gonna pray for your soul tonight. Clearly, your soul is vexed. Clearly.
You ever been to Brownsville? Just learn to speak Spanish because that's Mexico.
Oh,
that was racist.
Lord, we pray for our brother.
That was racist.
He gets the button.
He gets the button on that one.
Yeah,
it's the truth.
And you getting the button is the truth.
God damn, that was racist. That was racist.
Like going to El Paso to talk about you in the United States. Bullshit.
First of all, why are you advocating for where Crystals is? We never talked about where it is, and don't really care. The point of the story is it's disgusting.
No, we talked about the fact that
No, you talked about the fact. The rest of us don't give a damn where it is.
You know what? Let's concede his argument.
I'll give you that.
No. When someone else from the South shows up to corroborate your story, then we will accredit your statement. Until then, that shit's trash. Let's move on.
Right, it's trash. Let's move on. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Just like I was right about the man, right about this.
Oh, you know what? I do owe you an apology, and I promise you an apology, and I will give you that apology. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give this man the apology that he is due.
Oh gosh.
He said, and I quote, "I think the Mavs are going to win against the Phoenix Suns." I mocked him openly, and I want to apologize for that. Man, I had no idea that the Phoenix Suns was going to lay down and take it right in the with no Vaseline or anything. Just
your apologies. All apologies aren't created equal.
what I do wrong.
Apologize, and they're actually taking a dig in the middle of the apology.
I'm not taking a dig. No.
When they apologize.
Hey, listen. Calm your crystal eating ass down. I said I apologize. The Dallas Mavericks were the better team.
You said that I said I believe the Mavs are going to win.
You did.
I was so sure they was going to win. I put how much money on the line? Thank you. You don't bet that kind of money on no. I believe. I believe is in jail right now. Talking about he can fly.
Well, I noticed your ass didn't bet any. I noticed your ass didn't bet any money on this series.
He said, "I believe I can fly."
Yes, that belief ran out in the drive-through line at Christmas.
Listen. The Mavs have the better team, and they will win.
And
Who was listening to me? I heard me. That wasn't me listening to you. That was my bullshit meter going off. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's like a metal detector. When it hears bullshit, it just makes noise.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's why you don't like giving nobody. That's why I hate giving people an apology, because some niggas say they take the apology right, and he wanted a certain way with a certain color.
The other problem with your apology is you said that the Phoenix Suns laid down.
They did lay down.
They got their asses beat.
Well, both things can be true.
That's not laying down. That's not laying down.
Both things can be true.
The apology is weak and it's not accepted.
Oh.
That is rude. That is rude as hell. But I wouldn't expect anything less than from somebody that eats crystals.
That's exactly right. That's part of their culture.
They have no freaking decorum. That's I
right.
wouldn't expect anything
as evidence of them pulling up in the parking lot at Crystals. You can tell the character of a man by the things that he puts in his system.
Oh my gosh. We was all delivered when they built the White Castle down the street, and then the whole city was delivered. That was like, hallelujah. Thank you.
I will say when the White Castles got erected, crime in Bowling Green did increase. I will say that. So
You had to bring that up. Why you bring that up?
Did nobody want to go home? They like 24 hours. Hallelujah.
You ain't have to do them like that, Al. You ain't have to do them like that.
Wow, that's cold blooded right there. What else? Before we get into the subject of tonight, the Talk That Tuesday subject of the night, there's two things I do want to bring up. Number one, our president did speak in Buffalo today, as a matter of fact, this afternoon, and he said what happened here is simple and straightforward: terrorism, domestic terrorism, violence inflicted in the service of hate, and the vicious thirst for power that defines one group of people being inherently inferior to another group. I call on all Americans to reject the lie. I condemn those who spread the lie for power, for political gain, and for profit. We need to say as clearly and as forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America. Are we pleased now with the words from our president?
Nope.
Why wouldn't you?
Wasn't on mute.
Why wouldn't you be pleased?
Because
we're talking words now. We're not talking action. Why wouldn't you be pleased by the words?
Because the words don't mean shit to me until you do action.
Well, no, that's separate. That's separate. Are we pleased about the words of what the president said?
No, because his entire speech was full of shit.
So basically, what you're saying is you just can't please.
Yeah, you ain't gonna please me with that piece of bullshit that he came out of his mouth.
I'm actually gonna say I'm pleased. Because, and only for this reason. Because now I'm pissed that he took him this long to say it, but I'm pleased that he said it because that's the words that need to be said.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did he say?
He said that white supremacy has no place in America.
And every president before him said the same goddamn thing. It's a repeat of the exact same message everybody said.
Now, Donald Trump didn't say that shit.
I was gonna say,
Donald Trump said we got good people on both sides. Sorry.
Right. I don't think every president said it.
Obama said the same thing.
Obama did say it, but the other 43 presidents prior to him, I don't remember any of them saying it.
I think Clinton said the same thing. I'm pretty sure.
I never heard Clinton say anything about white supremacy.
Clinton probably said it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to check those records.
But it's the same spiel over and over again.
They ain't gonna be talking out their ass if white supremacy was not an issue at that point. If it was an issue, I'm sure Clinton probably.
I think Clinton would have said it if I don't remember an incident where he would have needed to say it. I guess that's where
That's true.
But I'm pleased with what he said. I am pleased with what he said. I'm glad he said it. So I'm not gonna crucify him too bad today.
And I too will say I'm satisfied with what he said, but I will echo Ron and say that there needs to be more action. but I am satisfied with the words he spoke, because we can't ignore it and throw it under the bush and try to find excuses for it. And that's what he didn't do. He didn't look for words to try to disguise. It is what it is. It's an act of hate. It's an act of racism, domestic terrorism, all those things.
Tied to political stuff as well. I'm glad he threw that in as well.
Yeah, I wish he had said, I'm bothered by the fact that this young white man has no scars on him, which is a clear example of white privilege in America. Had this been a person of color, more than likely they would not be alive today. So
that would be nice.
But I'm satisfied with what he said.
All right.
You don't like what I said, Jay? You rubbing your temples. You don't like what I said?
I mean, this is an opinionated show. We all have opinions, just like assholes. We all got at least one.
Are we to have more than one?
That was a disturbing.
Some people have
at least one.
That was very disturbing.
Some people are born with birth defects.
What kind of Area 51 bull?
Some people are born with birth defects. I'm trying to say some people have dual assholes.
Dual assholes. I didn't say both the asshole function, but they got two holes.
I don't like where this conversation is going. I don't like it.
It ain't going the way you thought it
That
was.
is very disturbing. Before we get into
stop inviting me on this show.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I expect the disturbing from you. Before we get into the deeper stuff, we do have a weird breaking news story. What are you doing?
Drinking water.
Get out of here.
Nobody knew she was doing anything until
she was walking past me and distracted me. I'm like, but she looked.
Nobody knew anything until you
I
tried. What are you doing?
I tried to block it out, and it was hard. All right, okay. We have a breaking news story that we actually have been struggling as to whether or not we deal with it, and we're going to deal with it, but not in. We're just going to deal with it as in we don't have a lot of information. All we have is what we have. But because most of us are either in Louisville or from Louisville on this show, or wish they lived in Louisville, like because it's a bigger city than Jackson, Mississippi, and they have White Castles. We want to deal with this story. Late yesterday, a story broke in regards to Rajon Rondo. And it was a weird story. It's still a weird story. I'm not even really sure what this story is yet, which is why I'm struggling to kind of conceptualize it for any of you. Apparently, and Al, the rest of you guys fill in the blanks where I'm off here, but apparently Rajon was at his baby mama's house, and he was playing video games with his son, and it had gotten late in the evening, and the son or the mother came in and said, "Hey, you got some chores you need to fulfill. Stop the game and come do that." And Rajon took issue with that, and he said, "Hey, I'm with my boy. This is our time. Don't be trying to give him chores while we doing our thing."
Oh,
and back and forth ensued of arguing and anger to which allegedly, and again, this is one-sided story telling so far, allegedly Rajon took the game console, yanked it out the wall. He didn't hit her, but his energy and attitude was of a hostile nature, up to and including the point where he demanded that she let the boy go with him. The mother refused, and according to her, he went to the car, much like the dude did on White Men Can't Jump, got his gun, came back and threatened her in front of her and the children. Now, she had proceeded, to her credit, to go and file a injunction against Rondo, keeping him from being around her or the kids. Also, inciting that he has a history of this kind of behavior. So, as of 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central, we have not heard, or I have not heard, a response from Rajon Rondo nor his legal team in regards to this. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what to think about the level of which she is implying this escalated. Although, if I'm being completely transparent and honest, which is what we do on this show, he does seem to have a propensity for doing wild shit in anger. You remember, this guy is the same guy that on a relatively benign basketball play on the basketball court was the guy that spit on Chris Paul and then two-pieced him. Remember, this is the same guy that in frustration on a foul, on another foul, took his head and wiped sweat all over the basketball before a guy shot it. He is a very uniquely strange guy. In fact, there have been many reports coming out of the Celtics locker room of frustration and anger and hostility between players. He and Ray Allen got into it several times, to the point where, according to Paul Pierce, he had to put on boxing gloves and they had to settle it like men. So, does he have a propensity to anger? Probably. Does that anger lend to violence? That's where I'm struggling. So I will yield to the rest of the panel to give their opinions as well. But those are the facts as I understand it. Al, have I left anything out?
No, I mean there's little bitty pieces that can be added, but again, this is all her story. I've not heard anything in the last 36 hours from Rajon or anyone representing Rajon or his camp that this rebuts her statements. That does not make them true.
Right.
But, you know, the court has issued an emergency protective order. He's ordered to stay away at least 500 feet away from her and the kids. I believe they have granted her temporary custody.
Wow.
And they've also ordered him to turn over all his firearms. Now, that does not indicate that he is guilty of any crime. That's just the court saying, hey, let us do everything we can to protect all involved until they can get before a judge and mitigate these charges, these claims. Because she also claims that, you know, eventually she gave in and opened the door and he snatched the son out with the gun in his hand and asked the son, why are you scared of me? And eventually the daughter, both children were in his possession, and why are you afraid of me? Yada, yada, yada. Her parents showed up and he was still angered. So he didn't calm down over however long this duration is, which, you know, we've seen his temper in full flare. So anytime a man stands in the middle of a basketball arena with 19,000 fans under the cameras of, you know, 20 plus million eyes and spits on another man,
right,
there's the potential. So again, that doesn't mean he's guilty. I don't really have an opinion. Just, you know,
yeah, we just you know, because I really don't know what to think. And so, okay, see, I wasn't aware of the pieces that you just added. So
She claims that he's physically and emotionally, verbally, and emotionally abusive to the kids. So there's a lot to this story.
To the kids?
Yes, that he hits the son, calls him soft, calls him a bitch, that he calls the little girl. I'm not reporting all this. This is all in the TMZ story. So I don't know any of this to be fact, fiction, true, false, hearsay, whatever. This is just how it's been reported.
And it's completely, if I can say it this way, it's completely out of context too.
Right.
So we don't know.
Yeah, from what I read an article about it, and two things. One is I agree with Stefan that why was he having visitation at her house? Did she feel like she couldn't? Was it the only type of visitation did he have? Was it what do they call it? Supervised visitation, because they felt that that he had some, they had some concerns. Is why that was, is that what he signed up for? And then the other thing is that somebody was like, it seems like there's some holes in her story, because it was like, I'm just gonna give y'all the bad part. I'm not gonna tell you anything that I did other than telling him, because it was like he's supposed to separate the laundry. That man gets visitation only a certain amount of time or whatever. He spends the majority of the time. I mean, you spend the majority of the time with the kids. So then when he come over, now you want to tell him in the middle of spending time with his father, hey, I need you to go in there and separate the colors from the whites. I mean, was that really something that needed to be
petty?
Right?
It does seem petty. You're right. Good
So
point.
I'm just saying that it looked like there was a couple of holes there, and all she did was make sure to say, he did this and he did that, and it sounds like, oh my gosh, oh me, oh my. And so absolutely I would see why they said, okay, look, you need to turn over firearm. Not, and like I said, I'm not defending him, because going to get your firearm and snatching the kids and all that type of stuff, that's totally inappropriate.
Yeah, why would you get your firearm though? That's the part I don't understand. If he did get his firearm, I don't know, but I don't know. That part's very strange, and scary actually, because
yes, it is.
This could go another way.
I feel for the children.
Yeah, cuz Ron, what y'all think about this? What are the members of Slide In Missionary Baptist Church thinking?
I'm going to say this probably for the first time. That's the joke. I'm joking. I'm going to say this probably for the first time in a long time.
Oh, here it is.
I agree with Mama Noise. Nothing else to add.
Somebody let me play the lottery.
No, I got the response, Mama Noise. Don't you even worry about it.
Oh my God!
Nothing else to add.
I think your assessment is spot on too, Mama Noise. I got to be honest with you. It's a weird situation. It's a really weird situation. Ron, what you think about all that?
I mean, I just feel sorry for the kids, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is.
So the kids are like, what is going on? What is the problem?
No, they're not. No, they're not. And that's where I'm going to disagree with you.
Those
kids have seen this before. From both of them. They clearly are the type of parents, co-parents, that have zero problem acting out in front of these kids.
I don't know. I think that's a far stretch.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you why I don't think so. Because of what Mama Noise said. If he has limited time to be with this kid and he came to the house to hang out with the kid, and you make an assessment of right now in the middle of y'all time, you got to do this thing.
But that's speculation, though, because we don't know that to be fact.
Right.
Well, those are her words.
No, she didn't say there was limited time. She didn't say he had a time limit.
Well, he don't stay there.
We don't know that either. We don't know if he's not still hitting that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? And you might very well be true, Mama Noise, for all counts and purposes, but it's speculation.
It is. It all is, yeah. Whew.
I would think it was supervised visits is the only reason why he would even be there. if that's the case, like you said, now if
or it could be exactly what Al is saying, that this is he was hitting.
Right, I agree with that.
Went left
but apparently there's no custody agreement because the judge just
put one in.
her temporary custody of the kids. So there was no custody restrictions, or he would not have had to grant her temporary custody.
Wow.
So
I think a lot more is going to come out about this story.
Oh
more than likely, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Rajon,
the same young lady that was in the garage when he was playing for, was it the Hawks?
Atlanta, yeah.
Atlanta, yeah.
I yes.
And my biggest thing is, like I said, I feel for the kids, but I don't care what all happened. What was your point of pulling your gun?
Y'all don't get that.
He didn't pull a gun, bro. He left and returned 15 minutes later, according to the story. So he had an opportunity.
Oh, he went and got the gun?
Yeah, he had an opportunity to calm down. He returned.
Right.
Now, again, this is her story, her side.
Right.
He returned 15 minutes later, beating on the door with a gun.
Yeah.
So if that's true, you calm down in 15 minutes. You can't do that.
What caused you to even remotely think that you had to go get one and come back? You could have left. Your ass could have left and stay gone.
Because he could very easily be at the point where he's thinking to himself, "Self, I'm sick and tired of going back and forth with this ninja."
Well, listen, he's clearly a grudge holder because he held that grudge against Ray Allen forever.
Like you said, Mr. Noise, these kids didn't see this before.
Yeah, they didn't see it before.
This ain't nothing new.
Just because he was talking to himself, yourself is so pissed off with yourself to tell yourself to go get a gun. Y'all two niggas can't get along.
Listen. You know one of the problems I have with people whose lives are going wonderful and they're living harmoniously with their spouses and
who the hell life is that?
Sex is good and finances are doing okay. We tend to forget what really happens in a lot of homes.
Hey, black man, explain to me who's living like that.
I don't forget what I have seen, what I've witnessed, and what I know goes on.
I don't think none of us have forgotten what we've seen. I'm just trying to figure out when yourself tells yourself to go get a gun and come back to your girlfriend's house.
Because you haven't had the experience that he's having.
I've had the same experiences that nigga's had, except he's got more money than me now.
I'm not making excuses for him. Trust me, I'm not making excuses for him.
Now that's that.
It's domestic violence. It's wrong.
But his experiences ain't no different than our experiences.
What I'm
Besides,
saying,
he got more money.
What I'm saying is the media is shining a light on their side. We are getting wind of it because of the media, but this stuff happens in families, broken families, all the time.
And black man, I agree with you on that. My question was, what drove this self to tell himself that I need to go get a gun?
Okay, well then maybe it's the same self that says that I may not have a gun, but I'm going out to. I was gonna leave, and now I'm gonna come back and fight you and choke you out.
And that's where my problem is. What grown ass man makes that type of decision?
Well, here's the other question. What did she say?
Listen, sir.
Yeah, he felt like, oh, I'll get my gun and take care of this.
Oh my.
This ain't got nothing to do with. This is a accountability issue on him. What made him make that decision?
Well, hold on, Ron. I think it's accountability on everybody. Because what did she say to make him say, I'll get my gun if I have to? Did she threaten to say? Did she threaten him and say, "You will never see these kids again"?
Oh Lord, that's the ultimate. You don't need to say that.
I'm not saying that's justified. I'm saying,
but it sounds like that would be
if you know a guy has a temper and has anger issues, why would you incite him?
But
yeah, my wife do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys who get excited. Wives do it all the time. They don't go pull guns on them just because she said, "I'm gonna take."
Maybe they don't have anger issues.
I was gonna say, but there's so many holes in all of this. And that's why that's why I was really struggling with even having the conversation, because we don't have all the facts. There's a whole side of this that's missing to this conversation.
Listen, what my co-pastor is trying to say, what he's saying, I agree with.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all do.
It doesn't matter what she said. He's responsible for his actions. But
oh, that's cold blooded.
Nobody knows how to push your buttons like someone that you've been in love with or close to.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I've experienced one time in my life that I overheard a conversation. The arguing was going on. I heard the arguing going on. I didn't hear word for word, but it was, woman and a man. But then all of a sudden, I heard, like, in other words, the woman was saying, just to kind of put it in a nutshell, she said she was jealous because the boyfriend kept spending all the time with his friends. And it hurt her that he didn't want to spend time with her. So her response, after arguing with him, she kept arguing, and none of the things that she was saying was hitting him, it wasn't hitting home until she said, what, are you gay or something? Is that the reason why you won't spend time with me, but you spend more time with your boys? And I mean, that was the last word I heard. And then he just, bam, and just knocked her right out for making that statement. And I was like, man, so clearly that's probably the wrong thing to do. But
that's a button.
Right. But see, it's a trigger. There's a trigger word.
Right.
A trigger a situation sometimes that you said, I'm gonna take my kids and leave. No, you not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's all it needs to be is that one word, that one phrase or something that sets somebody off and take them to a place that we don't think.
And it doesn't make it right, but
not at all.
It helps you understand, I mean, the humanity of it all. Because so wow. To be continued. We'll just leave it there. To be continued. We have an interesting conversation to have here tonight. Because I talked that Tuesday question or questions, two questions, is the government failing Black people or are Black people failing themselves? I don't want to use Buffalo as an example to Black people failing themselves. I mean, this is truly an unfortunate and unprecedented incident where being black couldn't have protected these people. That had nothing to do with why they got shot, why 10 people were murdered. But what happens after Saturday? What happens now? What do we look at now as it relates to finding justice or finding peace for this particular set of circumstances? Is it that as Black people, we've got to decide that we want more out of this country and demand more from our government? Or are we ever going to get to a place where we decide enough is enough and you and I got to do for you and I? In the words of the prophetic Outkast song, get up, get out, and get something. Where are we with all of this?
I would like to start off in this conversation right here. This is going to be a jam up good conversation.
Well, let's go then.
Noise, I promise to do my best to keep my cuss words to a minute.
I got to drop for that.
I listened back to party yesterday, and I was cussing and cussing. The reason why I was cussing yesterday is because until we get angry about our situation, nothing's going to change.
No, the reason why you were cussing yesterday is because you're a cusser.
And we really can't be angry at other people. We must start to be angry at ourselves. We must start being angry for what we allow to happen to ourselves. I don't mean somebody coming in and murdering us. I mean what we. Okay, so
our response.
There's a song, old gospel song. I'm glad my co-pastor off because he don't know gospel at all. Oh,
Well, it's so not true.
It's really not true, but go ahead.
Wise.
there was a song that said, "I came from a poor family. We didn't have much, but the Lord's been good to me." We used to believe that even though we didn't have much, we took care of that in which we had. We made do and tried our best to build and maintain with what we had. We don't appear to have that mentality anymore. We act like we got to have it all in order to do anything. See, I don't have to be a successful businessman. I don't have to be an athlete, successful, or I don't have to be a singer. I don't have to be a college graduate to take care of that which I have responsibility over. So when you ask the question, are Black people failing themselves? That's where I start. Right there.
What do you mean have it all? I don't understand that.
We're failing because I don't have a lot to give. I'm not going to give anything because I don't have a lot of knowledge. I'm not going to share any knowledge. We're waiting on perfection. We're waiting on somebody else to make us whole when we have to, in the middle of our brokenness, in the middle of the storm, we must do our work in order to improve our own situation.
I think this is coming from a different chat, but it said, I think somebody said, stop putting all Black people in the same category. Odell Clark. Shout out to Odell Clark. Frat on another page. This is the first time I got notifications, so I appreciate that.
I don't know what that means. Stop putting all Black people in the same category.
Well, you said Black people. You didn't say some Black people. You said Black people. You said Black people.
When you speak of a situation that we all experience as a whole, you're talking about the whole. Whenever you talk negative about our situation, too many of us go, well, all Black people ain't uneducated. All Black people ain't fathering their kids. We're not saying all. We're having a discussion about a predicament that we as a people are experiencing. So don't come here with that shit all. Nobody talking about all. Okay, that was the first curse word. I'm sorry, co-pastor. I'm sorry.
We knew it was live from the beginning. Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
I'm surprised. I was surprised it took that long. I was waiting the whole time.
Yeah, you honestly, you held great restraint to hold on as long as you did.
This is not the first incident, and it won't be the last. So we've discussed it, and it's the same thing. Yes, we are doing a disservice to ourselves as a community. Yes, we are being abandoned, so to speak, by our white counterparts because of systemic racism and unfair bank practices and so on and so forth, redlining and gerrymandering and so yeah, there is that to play. But unfortunately, Lloyd, Kenyatta, Ron, Jay, there's a formula.
There's a what?
A formula.
Oh, okay.
We're going to rally around these families. And we're going to show love and support for these families. And then there's going to be an outcry for gun law reform and political awareness. And then within weeks, we'll be right back in the same boat. I would venture to say in Buffalo, and this is, I haven't read any articles, so I don't know this to be fact, and I pray that it's false. There were probably black on black murders last night, even in the wake.
You said probably where? Where?
In Buffalo, in the same exact town.
You said probably?
So Al, you saying they're gonna have a march for Buffalo? Is it?
Sure.
That formula. So that's typically how that formula normally works.
So, and it's unfortunate.
Sunday night, Tamika Mallory was given an award for her activism as it relates to whatever I guess they feel like she's done. And that's really the scary part about it, isn't it? Because I don't know what she's done. Like, I guess you could say she's gone to cities and she spoke out about certain things. So that's activism. You know, she put her life in, on the line in that regard. I don't know if we know what change looks like, cuz. Like, you say we need to be angry ourselves to fix this problem. Well, we've done that. We've been angry. We've been hostile about it. We've been frustrated about it. I don't know if we're frustrated to the level that you want us to be, where we're angry about it all the way across the board, like black on black crime, robbing our own neighborhoods, being violent in our own stores, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if we're that angry yet.
That means our anger looks opportunistic. It doesn't look real.
Well, but we're giving out awards for that anger, though. That's my point.
Listen. I shared the number yesterday. I think I said 64.
No, you say 67. I remember it.
Yeah,
67.
Yeah.
Thanks for the correction. I don't have it in front of me.
It's okay.
67 murders in Baltimore. I'm not. Damn it, Jay. Come on. Been drinking. In Buffalo last year, 67 murders. Where's the anger? Where's the outrage? That's one, not even the largest city in New York. That's one small city in New York. 67 murders. We're not pissed. Our activist leaders, they aren't pissed. Our preachers, they aren't pissed. We aren't angry. We don't get angry until.
I sent you guys a story. Because stories like that scare me. And it's been breaking all day. Can you hear me, Jay?
No, I was talking.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Stories like that scare me. It's been breaking all day. It's really been breaking over the last couple of weeks. I guess ever since Patrice Cullors filed her, I guess she probably filed her taxes because she had to. It is now being revealed even more where some of the money for Black Lives Matter has gone. And today it was released that $2.1 million went to her boyfriend, her baby daddy. I bring that up because this is a group that was supposedly angry about Black lives. And they said that they matter. And they convinced the rest of the world that they matter. And the world responded. And they said, we're gonna give you guys money to help fight for Black lives. That $2.1 million was more than they gave Trayvon Martin's foundation. I don't think we're angry, Jay. I think we're opportunistic.
No, I agree.
And I don't think we know what activism looks like. So to answer Anthony Bruce's question, how long do we wait on a government that we know doesn't care about us?
Give a damn about us.
And I agree, but the problem is, Jay, it don't look like we give a damn about us.
Well, we have to do. The old folks used to say, you got to do your work at home first before you expect for anybody else to give a damn about you. You got to do your work first. We want people to care about us. And apparently, I mean, I'm just saying us now. don't want nobody to get offended if I'm talking about, all black people, but apparently we don't care about ourselves. Listen, that Black Lives Matter was a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah.
That was a huge blunder. Now, I believe dick is priceless. I believe that.
Is it Richard? Somebody named Richard?
Richard Dick, William Bill Dick.
I don't think that's
Detective Tracy.
Detective Dick Tracy.
What the dick?
I love y'all.
Dollars out of a fund that should be going to help us. You giving it to your Richard,
man.
Your Richard.
But she's been giving it to. They've been giving it to stuff that ain't related to Black lives from the start. Like it's never been what it appeared to be. And now that it's all coming out, and it's going to get, by the way, way worse before it gets better. We're probably days away or weeks away from the charges being dropped. Because folks are going to say, well, damn, what have you been doing with our money?
Well, it just puts a stain on people want to do for others who are doing right.
Right.
So now it's just going to make it harder for other people to want to support the other causes because now they're believing all these, I hate to say all, but they're going to have the perception that the remaining organizations
well here's
just as bad.
Well, I think the word you're looking for, Ron, is that on to demand a level of transparency in the giving that is wildly uncomfortable for all of us. You're going to have to show your books. You're going to have to show us where the money went and what are the results and da 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 da. You know,
I think it's worse than that, dude. I don't think they're going to give to make you even show you.
Some won't. I agree with you. Some won't.
If Black Lives Matter blundered that much money, why the hell would I give to the next Black Lives Matter? My perception of those next group coming up, I'm gonna have the same perception.
I agree with you, Ron, but listen, white folks been stealing money all of this country's history. Let's not pretend that the Black Lives Matter is the first organization to steal money from an organization.
No, I'm not saying we all know. Hell, I can name a big organization that's been stealing money from people for a long goddamn time, but I'm gonna leave that organization out the name for today. But and you know who it is, Jay, because you talk about them every goddamn day.
Let me be clear. Slide-In Missionary Baptist Church tonight chose violence. They are coming in hot tonight. They are coming in very, very hot.
But we all know organizations steal money. I mean, that's the thing. But when you keep seeing that your own organizations are misusing their funds, it makes it hard for you to want to support those organizations going forward. It's hard for you to say, shit, here's Black Lives Matter number 2. They say they're better than everybody else. I'm not about to give them no money until I see it. So I see them do something in the community.
I think the part that makes me sad is that is that we're constantly saying if we had the resources, if we had the monies to be able to, we would change some things. We'd make a difference. We talked about last year, I believe, that was it 90 million, 80 million, however many million, I think it was way up there, that it was going to be broken up into some increments from Nike or someone like that, some large company that was going to be giving money in installments to the Black Lives Matter movement. And you're saying, y'all over here tricking off.
Tricking?
I said what I said, Kyrie. They tricking off money when they're let me go ahead and get all my family members to start an LLC. And, my cousin, he owns a security business. I think I'm gonna have him down for security. My man, he's gonna have a business for so and so. I think I'm gonna put him down. Okay, but yet and still, we got people like Trayvon Martin's foundation and all of the people. What was it? Michael up in Ferguson. Michael
Brown.
Michael Brown's people, was all of them, all of the different foundations across the nation that are dependent on this, like, parent company, if you will, for lack of a better word, but for Black Lives Matter to be distributing all this money to all these different people, which is why all these corporations gave all this money to them in the first place. Whether they gave it to them to clear their conscience or you know, or whatever the reason, they gave all this money to these people. And these people are just living like fat rats. And if Trayvon Martin's foundation only got 200,000 out of all the millions of dollars that has been flowing through this, it's so sad. It really is sad.
But I think the part that makes it even harder and is relevant to this conversation is what Anthony Bruce and Tim Hinkle just said. It makes it hard for blacks to support other blacks.
Exactly.
It makes it hard because he just said Black Lives Matter ain't shit. Okay, so if we all walk around with that mentality and we don't even have enough wherewithal, like Al said, to trust each other, because now what's the march? What is the march now? What are we doing with the march? Are we marching for Black lives? Are we marching? What are we marching for?
For the opportunity.
This is a slippery slope that has happened in a horrible confluence of events, because you got a community that's tearing itself apart on multiple factions. You've got, and by the way, a community that was built to tear itself apart. Let's be clear, right? Then you have a government who doesn't care and only placates that community just enough to continue to maintain its own political power. How do you change any of it if everybody's in on the take?
We are too busy trying to change other people to accept us, to make our lives better, when the focus should be within.
Got to be more careful.
So until we realize that the change is gonna have to come from within our community and not depend on external factors, then we're gonna be in the same situation.
I need your app.
So
I got a card here. Guys, that's the whole damn kit caboodle. We're so busy trying to hold other people accountable that we're not willing to hold ourselves accountable for what we do to ourselves.
Okay, so
how the hell am I going to complain about you shooting at me, but I'm cutting myself every day?
okay, but here's the challenge I'm having with what you're saying. The start and beginning of accountability has to begin also with the foundational universal belief system that we all agree to. What is that?
What do you mean?
Are we standing on Black Lives Mattering? Are we standing on the Million Man March? All black men go home? Are we standing on I'm black and I'm proud? What are we using as the moral guide to universally bring us together and say, get your asses on the same page so we can move forward?
Well, here's the problem, I believe. There's a song, old song.
Gospel song.
Don't quote another one of these Mississippi hymns that ain't nobody ever heard of.
that is, y'all have heard that. I come from a broke family. I didn't have much, but the Lord's been good to me. Y'all never heard that?
Good time.
Maybe it's just the way he sang it, Al. You sang it better.
Go ahead.
Damn.
Go ahead, cuz.
Okay, so that's an old song.
Mom knows we don't know this song. Me and you don't know this song, Mom.
You might know this. You might know this. It says, "We don't need another hero. we don't need to know the way home. All we need is life beyond the Thunderdome.
I didn't expect Tina Turner to be quoted
You
tonight.
didn't expect Tina Turner to come out, did you?
Here's my point.
Renee appreciates your singing, by the way, Al. Just want to throw that out there.
Thank you, Renee. School these young people.
Here's my point. We're always looking for some great model, some great hope, somebody to take the lead and for us to follow. This shit is as easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC, baby, you and me. That's the Jacksons. Jackson 5. Every man. Y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all touch y'all head. Y'all don't want to hear it.
Well, because
he must do his part to raise his family. And we can't be so concerned about we ourselves, but we must be concerned about the whole.
Rondo trying to raise his family, and she telling the kid to go to bed, so he had to pull a gun on her.
He allowed himself to get offended by what that woman said. Now he might end up in jail. So he was more concerned about self then. He removed the son. He removed the son to care for the son. He cared about how she offended him by what she said.
Because you're making my point for me. You're saying every man got to take care of his family. How does that man take care of his family with no tools? How does he build a house with no tools?
Come on. You act like we ain't never been there. There was a point in time where black families were a lot more whole than they are now. We've been there. We've done that. Most black homes at a point in our country had, even the Evans family had a mama and a daddy. They were in the ghetto. Good times. Those were good times, by the way. Because they had a mama and a daddy.
I got to be honest with you. That might be the oldest thing you've ever said on this show. Once upon a time, we all took care of ourselves and blah, 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 blah. Nigga, we know that. We're talking about the problem we're talking about the problem that has emerged from that, where there's been at least 2 to possibly 3 generations of broken homes with no fathers. That's the problem we're talking about. We're not talking about what happened in 40, 50, and 60. We're talking about what happened in 70s, 80s, and 90s.
I refuse to believe that we're ignorant to what it takes to raise your family.
If we're not ignorant to it, then why aren't we doing it?
I believe we're more selfish than we are ignorant. We care more about self than we do the whole.
Do you even hear the words that are coming out your own mouth? If that's true, then how do we break that, sir? That's what we're asking. If we have become a selfish society of men who have been trained perpetually over the past 30 years to only look out for themselves, how do we break that cycle so that black men can take care of their own the way you are proposing?
Ninjas have to grow up.
Now,
what does that take? You want some magic bullet answer. I don't have. If it was a magic bullet answer here, somebody would be selling that shit. Ain't no magic bullet answer.
They are selling it every Sunday. Collection. Sorry.
Ooh, he went too far. He went too far. He went too far.
I won't lie to you. That escalated quickly. That really escalated extremely fast. I did not see that coming as fast as it did. And my mouth was open, so I didn't even have time to prepare for it.
I mean, both of you guys, unfortunately, both of y'all are right at the same damn time.
We are.
Pretty sad to say. There is no magic bullet.
No. You got to do your goddamn work.
You know, are the tools
but
there?
But it ain't that simple.
But are the tools there? Yes, the tools are there.
Goddamn right.
What you got to do, what they have to do, and it's, as everybody in this thing has said multiple times, it's all about accountability. It's all about making a decision, a conscious decision to grow the F up, be a man, and take care of your peoples.
But how do we, but how do we get?
Let me ask you this question. Because
you remember, don't leave any man behind. As much as cuz like this, sometimes you gotta let some of these niggas go.
I understand.
And start with the ones that you need to, and start with the ones you need to really start with.
Oh, damn.
I understand what your question gonna be. So I have a question for ILB, and I like the neckiness that we don't mind sharing on this show.
Don't cuss him out.
ILB, you went through a divorce situation that I believe wasn't the most positive situation, but yet you are a father to those kids. You didn't allow that situation, resentment, hatred, however you want to call it, what people go through. I'm not talking about you in particular. You didn't allow that to stop you from being a father to those kids. And they will never grow up, though mom and dad ain't together, they'll never grow up saying, my daddy wasn't in my life. So many men use that as well, I shouldn't say.
You done already said it. You say it all the time.
So many men use that, not all, but so many of us use that as an excuse. So now we just go on and start over somewhere else, create some more babies.
Okay, stop right there. How do we take Al's example and make it the standard as opposed to the exception?
Why did you do it, Al?
Oh, it had nothing to do with me. It was the God, and I'm being transparent. It was the God in me, because not only am I a father to my kids, I'm a friend to their mother. Because it's important for us to raise two grounded young adults to be civil to one another. So it's the God in me that allowed me to not fall into that pattern. And then I agree with you, cuz so many people's like, look, if this is what it takes, if I got to deal with you just to see my kids, then you know what? I ain't gonna deal with neither one. Again, that's
so how do we turn that in? So how do we turn that into the standard, and anything else is the exception?
The way you're doing it, the way Cuz is doing it, the way Ron is doing it, the way I'm doing it, there's got to be a trickle down effect. There's got to be a domino effect. People coming behind us have to see that, and unfortunately, they're not seeing enough of it.
Exactly.
And it's just like with Black Lives Matter. It's just like with Martin Luther King. It was all positive, but people instantly are going to look for something wrong, because we've been taught if it's too good to be true, if it seems too good to be true, then it probably is. So we automatically, and I say we generically, we automatically start looking for flaws. And once we find a little bitty speck, we start picking away at it, and then it reveals a crack in a foundation, like Black Lives Matter. And water's eventually going to start gushing out of them cracks, as we, witnessing in the testimony. But it was the same way with Martin Luther King. Oh, look at him trying to tell us to be better people, but he's cheating on his wife. We're going to automatically look, and we're crabs in a barrel.
And we don't give that same look at everybody else, because we want them to accept us. So we're willing to accept their flaws, their mistakes, and even push to be that. But as soon as it's one of us, it's all over.
Listen, them last two comments from them two brothers, that's some powerful stuff.
And Lloyd, as well, I know you said, how do we make it the standard? We are the standard. We just don't call out the exceptions.
I was talking about the message in the chat.
But Lloyd said, how do we make this the standard? That is the standard. It's always been the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants the standard. Everybody wants the exception. The exception is easy to get because I don't have to do shit. The standard requires work. The standard means I got to look myself in the mirror every goddamn day and say what I did wrong, accept what I did wrong, and fix it. The exception, I don't have to. I can let that shit be and walk on and keep on rolling. And nobody will say nothing.
And you must have, in order for it to work, Al B said it. He said Christ, that, as a Christian, I 100% believe. But
you're not a Christian.
Well, okay, you're right. I would never appreciate it. You're right. But you must have a certain amount of selfless service in mind when you want to do right by your family. It has to be a certain amount of selflessness. If you make it about you, if he had made it about him, he would have used that pain from that situation and said, "Fuck it all." I'm sorry about the cussing, Mama, but that's the truth. But when you say, you know what, it's much bigger than me, it's important that the next generation understands their value. I have to be in their life to teach them their value. Then you say, fuck me, it's all about them.
Well, first of all, let's be clear. You're not sorry about the cussing at all.
I'm trying to stop, but hey,
not at all. Not
I gotta cuss now. I gotta cuss.
All lies is what you say. First of all, Tim Hinkle's in the building.
What's up, Tim?
With once again the crispiest beard this side of the Mason-Dixon line.
What's going on, good black people?
What's going on?
Tim, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Right on.
Why are you a committed black father?
I ain't got a choice.
Oh, you got a choice.
Oh no, you ain't got no choice. I ain't got no choice. I was a victim of a father who wasn't committed.
Mm.
I ain't got no choice. Let me say, I had my first child when I was 20 years old. I was a sophomore in college at Murray State, and you know that was shocking. And you know, and even then, I didn't come straight home from college and take care of her because I was still at school, feeling like I said, if I can get to the league, I could take care of my child better than going to get a 9 to 5. Well, another year went by, and I realized I wasn't going to the league. So
basketball, football, just so
football.
People understand just the story.
Yeah, I'm sorry, football.
No, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So I need to go and come up out of here with some paper and go home and take care of my daughter. So for my daughter's first year and a half, or 2 years, I'm gonna say, you know, I wasn't in her life full time like I should have been. And I remember how it felt for me. I said, I'm not gonna do my child like this. It's not a good feeling. Wasn't nothing manly about that. So I had to come home and, you know, do what I had to do to take care of my child. Now, of course, I knew I couldn't afford to have no more at the time, so it was like a 10-year gap between my daughter and my son. So, you know, but as me being a responsible father, I don't have a choice. Like I said, I'm not gonna put my child through the same punishment, mental punishment, emotional punishment that I went through. So that was that's why I say what I said.
I would like for you to give yourself more credit than that. You made a choice when you left school to go back home to take care of your kid. So I understand what you say. I have no other choice as a man, but really, you had a choice, and you chose to do the right thing, not for you, but for her.
Yeah,
so
yeah, but
we have to start sharpening each other and convincing each other that we can do the right thing. That's the problem. Many of us don't feel like we can.
But my other choice was to be a deadbeat.
But that was a choice.
Nah.
It wasn't an option. It wasn't an option for you, but you could have made that choice.
Nothing about that sexy, baby.
Nothing about that.
I agree.
Nothing about that's a good choice. Nothing about that was an option. Not at all. Never crossed the mind.
Then why are so many young men choosing it?
Because it's easy.
Because we do have choice.
Well, you know, I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons. Now, you know, fortunate for me, I had a child with a woman who's smart, who was willing on allowing me to be in my daughter's was allowing me to be in my daughter's life. Even though she knew I was still at school, she knew I wasn't going to be that type of guy that wasn't going to, you know, be involved with our daughter, regardless if I'm always married and she's always here in Louisville. you know, my scholarship money, I didn't need all that money. You know, I'm getting $5,000 a semester. What I need $5,000 a semester for? Everything's paid for. I didn't need all that money, so I would keep 2,000, send 3,000 on to her. You know, here, get what you need to get for her. I know it's not a lot, but you know, every little bit helps and can, and she appreciates that. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I had the opportunity to take breaks and come home, I did. You know, to make sure and when I was at home, I wasn't home going out to the club, hanging out with my boys. I'm at home spending time with my child because I don't want my daughter to look at me like I'm a stranger. You know, that's a I don't I could imagine when I'm hearing I got some buddies, man, that said, man, my son looked at me like he didn't even know who I was. I couldn't imagine having my child look at me like he didn't have no idea who I was, or she had no idea who I was. I was a stranger. I was just some dude. No, hell,
Hell no.
and especially got kids, and some of the kids they look just like the dad.
Yeah, that goes to what Anthony
God
Bruce
damn,
said.
man, how can you sleep at night?
We have to surround ourselves with like-minded people. And Tim, you said yourself said when you came home, you wasn't all about that club. You know what I'm saying? You was about spending time with your daughter because you had to go back down to that school in southwestern part of Kentucky. I don't say that name.
On the other side of Mama Noise, the school.
Yeah, opposite of where we went to school.
Right.
Hold on, y'all can't say Murray. Y'all can't say Murray.
There's only one MSU in the state.
Yeah, I was gonna say we only represent one MSU.
There's only one MSU. Murray State is not in existence.
Although we do love Ja Morant. We do love Ja Morant.
Hold on now. Let's say this. You realize we own the state.
Oh my goodness.
Lately. Hold on, no. Whoa. Morehead kind of smacked y'all around this year. But we digress. We digress.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out
that's a different show. We'll come back to that one. We'll come back.
We're gonna leave that alone.
We'll come back.
We digress. But you have to surround yourself with like-minded people. And I always attribute. I think it was WLOU. It might have been a different station, but when it used to sign off at night, it used to always say, "If you can't change the people,
and change the people around
you around, change the people. You know, if you can't change people around you, change the people around you."
Yep.
So
how do we? Okay, so let's stay in that moment right there because maybe that is a solution. How do we change the environment and the people around today's Black man and give them a different voice to listen to? And here's what I mean by that. We're talking TV, we're talking music, we're talking all of the influences that are there, social media, whatever. How do we bombard, or how is there a path to changing the people around our Black men so that they no longer think a Nick Cannon tribe is cool, or Future tribe is cool, or multiple baby. Diddy got two girls, his old ass got two girls fighting on social media today. That's not cool. How do we change that?
We need to stop talking about it and start being about it. We do too much talking and not enough walking. And that's the same thing with our stance politically, economically. We always want to talk about it. We always want to march about it, but we don't want to live it.
Where you getting about?
I think a lot of these men need to vet these women a lot better. What you dealing with, because that can have effect on a lot of these men who are not in their kids' life too, man. You got some individuals. You see horror stories all the time, man. How some of these women, they use kids as weapons.
Oh yeah,
and that's like the worst. Especially when the mothers probably know more than likely what it felt like not having their father in the home in their life, but yet they're willing to expose their kids to that same experience because she's mad at the individual that she laid down with. You know, I felt like he wasn't there enough. You know what I'm saying? Or he didn't do right by her. And now he's moved on and got a new girl. He's doing right by this new girl, but treating her like shit. And men, as men, I hold us responsible for a lot of stuff, man. And I'm always hold men accountable for everything, man, for the most part. You know, and one of those is like, man, you need to pick better. You need to leave these tackheads, these hoes, these chicken heads alone. Pick better.
Tim, nope, we call it pickle nigga meter. You gotta have a good pick a nigga meter.
Well, I don't use that N word, but I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
You use the word tackhead and hoes, but you won't use the word nigga?
No.
Damn. Well, I mean, damn, Tim.
Just saying, that's just my stance, big brother. I apologize.
It's a stance. He's got a standard. It's a standard he lives by.
Pick a brother. We just pick a brother meter. Then you have the right.
But hey, a chicken head or a tack head could be any color, any race, any creed or religion.
There you go.
Right.
Exactly.
But we know what that N word. We know who that N word is directed to.
We know what chicken head means.
But let me say this: don't those tack heads and chicken heads aren't they genderless?
Aren't they what? I'm sorry.
Aren't they genderless? Because then there's some tackhead brothers and tackheads.
Yeah.
Hey, look here. You know, back in the day, Lord, we talked about the chicken head. We didn't call them chicken head because they had them old fake hair, and they had the girls had that hair all over the place, be red. That's why they call them chicken heads. Because they look like
I got you. I'm just saying.
There are chicken head dudes, Lloyd.
Yeah, I'm asking the question because I'm saying.
I never addresses a man as a chicken head, but hey, if it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, we call them Pookies and Ray Rays.
I guess I'm.
But that's the other question too, Lloyd. You gotta stop. We gotta stop promoting the negative side of us. So as much as people talk bad about Nick Cannon, you got 2 times those people talking good about him. For everything that he does bad, you got somebody gonna come out with 5 things that he's doing bad to offset the shit that he's done wrong. We're good at doing that. At some point, you got to stop promoting that stuff and start holding those people accountable for the stuff that they're doing. You can't just say, "Hey, Nick Cannon's got 10 kids, but boy, he got that Wild 'N Out show, and that Wild 'N Out show is great."
We got to shame him. You remember how they, back in the days, man, when a teenage girl, a young girl used to get pregnant, she used to get shamed. She get embarrassed and she get talked about. She was, go to church. They be gossiping about it, saying, "Oh, she's so fast, little girl. She done got pregnant. They done sent on out to the country to have that baby." Then all of a sudden she come back 9 months later. All of a sudden she slim. She lost a little weight, but she had a baby. Grandma's keeping that baby and raising that baby like it's hers.
Does shaming correct the behavior?
Will it correct the behavior? Maybe not. But it'll make people think.
Right. It'll make them look.
Let them be an example. Hey, this is not what men should do. Just because he can afford to have 10 kids doesn't mean he should have 10 kids. Because guess what? He can't be there for all 10 of these kids emotionally. What about the emotional part of being a father? He can't be there for 10 kids. How can you? No. You spread yourself so thin. You got this project going on. You got that project going on. But then you got these 10 kids. Where's the quality time for these kids?
We had that discussion several weeks back. It's more to it than being financially able to support kids. It takes more than that to grow grounded, solid adults. So we had that discussion, and some people seem to think as long as you can pay for them,
you can't let child support, and I call what he's doing, paying those kids, paying them off. You paying child support. Child support can't raise your kid. Child support cannot be the one out there telling your kid what's right, what's wrong. You have to be in your kid's life. You have to be there at some point. And send them every 4 or 5 months because you spread so thin. not really. Hell, he might even be every 4 or 5 months. It could be longer than that because there's so many of them.
Twitter said the elevated need to remove ourselves from the rest. Let the lowlifes look up to our example.
Didn't I say it earlier? Sometimes you gotta let motherfuckers go.
Well, look,
is that the solution? Take the best among us and say, good luck to the rest of you?
It's one of those things. Everybody not going to make it. We're not all going to heaven. We got to accept that. There's going to be some cats going to be on the outside looking in. Best of luck to you.
And there's going to be some brothers right in the middle. You go either way. It could go either way.
Best of luck to you. That's all I can tell you. You had your opportunity to do what you needed to do, get through these pearly gates. If you don't make it, hey, that's your fault now. You can't, nobody else's fault but yours.
But you know what you said, Tim, in regard to the description of the women, I will just say, that you gave. You know, I wonder if we wouldn't have so much focus on a woman's titties and tail, that you would actually have a conversation with her and stop worrying about how quick you can get between her legs and add bodies and all this other stuff. That you might know what type of woman it is that you're impregnating. Nobody said, nobody put a gun to these men's head and said slide in like they do over at missionary, slide in missionary. Nobody said gone over there raw dog and then you get what you get. You knew what you was doing when you had that erection. You was making a decision whether you wanted to pull out a prophylactic or not. And so then when you got that one pregnant, then it's, oh snap, I have this woman pregnant. What is we gonna do? I know she need to fix that or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute. Stop just looking at titties and tail. There's got to be more to a woman than that.
I agree, my lord. But that's why I say you need to vet these women you dealing with. You have to vet them because are we teaching the boys? You can tell by the first couple conversations.
But are we teaching the boys to do that? Because all I hear boys talking about is bodies. How many bodies I got, and I'm trying to. They're not talking about having. That's why we tell our daughters, look, what's wrong with friendship? And I try to power drive that into their spirit because I keep trying to let them know when you can find out a lot about a guy when he's as your friend, then you'll ever find out about him practically as your man. And a whole lot of these people are getting in relationships and stuff. You ain't old enough to understand nothing to be trying to be in no relationship.
Well, let me give you a peek inside of mainstream. These young ladies, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old young ladies are also talking about their body counts.
Yeah.
So we in a bad
It goes
place.
both ways.
Yeah.
That's why, like I said, for me in my house, I try to let them know, listen, this can't be the route because you're going to lose. And see, they try to say, no, at first it used to be, well, the guys could just, when I grew up, it was like guys could just go home, take a shower, come back outside, and nobody would say nothing about all the bodies he done been through that week. But to let a girl do that, then she's a taghead, she's a this, she's a that, she's a trick, blah, 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 because she trying to do the same thing. Somebody is a breakdown somewhere if parents are not teaching our girls and guys or whatever that's not the way to figure out who you should be in a relationship with. Just sexual conquest can't be the thermometer, the gauge.
Well, I tell you this, Mama Noise. These girls need to have the mindset, I need to marry before I carry. And if you have that mindset, you won't have nothing to worry about.
But are we putting too much pressure on the young ladies? Shouldn't we have our young men?
We have
our young men with the same mentality?
No, you can't. You can't. Because the reason why is because the girl's gonna suffer the most pain and the most suffering out of the situation. Because they're gonna end up carrying that baby for 9 months, delivering that baby, taking a chance on losing her life on that table.
Yeah, you're right, but I think you're right. But I think I think both young men and young women need to have that same mentality. If you're not prepared to marry, then keep your tallywhacker in your britches. I'm telling you, I drive a school bus, and I thought the young men behind me on Monday, I thought they were having an intelligent conversation for once. They were talking about the abortion rights bill and the state. Some of them thought that it was a state thing, a few states, and one of the other little boys, and these are young black men. The
You
other
might
little
want
boy
to watch
said,
that
"No,
A-word
no,"
on
he said,
YouTube.
"This is nationwide."
They were sensitive.
And so we going down the road, and just a couple of minutes later, turns out the whole conversation was simply because now they can't screw as freely as they want to.
Oh, you can, but you're gonna take that. But look, the unfortunate problem is they've been using deletion as a form of child what's a birth control.
Birth control, yeah.
Right.
You don't use something like that as birth control. That should be a last resort for a situation that like incest or somebody booty snatched you. That's what that should be for. Not for some bullshit ass one night stand and now you slipped up because the condom broke and now you are pregnant and you going, that's your first result or your first answer. I'm gonna go have this. Oh, that's sad.
Well, the even scarier part was before even going to that, when we fell asleep at the wheel and allowed them to put the pill in the pharmacies. What's it called?
Plan B.
Day after, yeah, the day after pill. It's just an abortion in a pill. That you like. Oh, I didn't know I don't know if she's pregnant or not, but just in case, let's go ahead and shake up some of these day after pills, like some sweet tarts for a couple of days to make sure that we don't have we ain't got a problem. But we fell asleep at the wheel and was like, well, maybe that won't bother me, but we're not realizing that it's not about what's bothering us immediately. It's those after us.
You're right. But like I was saying, we have to encourage, if we encourage these girls to get married before they carry, then these guys, they not going to get no opportunity to whip it out. Only way they can do it unless they booty snatching. And we know there's a consequence behind that. So if we can get these young ladies to accept that mindset and to go with it.
Can we clarify what a booty snatcher is?
Rape.
That is the most misinterpreted term
okay.
I've heard Tim say since he's been on this show. Booty snatch.
I just said I want a definition because
rape is what
it's there's nothing rape, booty snatch.
Yeah, you on YouTube, so I don't want you. I don't want to. They sensitive about them
words.
They absolutely are. Yes.
Because you keep leaning up every time he say, the girls got to take responsibility.
I am. I'm torn between my love for Tim and my absolute hatred for what he says about this issue. I agree with some things and I don't agree with others. And here's where I disagree.
Let's just have the conversation, please.
Why in the hell? I agree, brother. I totally agree. Why in the hell would you put it all on a woman? Ideally, you are correct. She's the one that has to carry it for 9 months. She's the one that, for lack of a better way to put it, stuck like Chuck for 18 years, that nigga gone. I agree. But the reality is, Tim, that young girl that's doing that doesn't have a dad at home like you to teach her. Her mama's working 2 jobs because no dad is at home, so nobody's teaching her. Because Big Mama don't exist no more. Big Mama in the goddamn clubs with the... Oops.
Even your dog thought there was bullshit about Big Mama.
He don't want me cussing no more. So he's a Christian dog. Listen, we have to understand that our young ladies are broken, and I know my co-pastor don't like that.
I hate that with a
But
passion.
when daddy's not in the home, you come up with a better term for it. Because Tim made the sacrifice and did what he had to do for his daughter because he didn't want her to be in that predicament. He didn't want her to be out there waiting on some nigga to tell her, baby, I love you. He told his daughter, I love you, before she even knew what it was.
And cuz, just to
So
help
we
you out.
can't blame women for the position they're in when men aren't there to teach them.
And I'm afraid that if we leave our young men out of the equation, what we're going to be left with is, if you don't get it, take it.
Well,
if she's not willing to give it freely, take it, because they haven't been included in the conversation.
But let me say this: I'm not leaving a man out there completely totally now, because I'm all for dick discipline.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm all for dick discipline. I said, I tell them, don't just put your stuff in anything, man. Don't just be out there like that. It ain't worth it. Because guess what? You mess around, get one of these, like I said, these tack heads or chicken heads pregnant, you got the wrong one, you in trouble. Now you got a lifetime of suffering you got to deal with.
Would
From
you stop
the mother.
our black women tack heads and chicken heads? Why?
Hold on, cuz. Listen to me. I'm talking about the bad ones. I'm talking about the hoes and tack heads and chicken heads. Now, I'm not talking about the ladies. There's some ladies out there. We know Mama Noise is a lady. I'm sure your wife is a lady. I'm sure my man is not. He got a lady. But you do got some.
He stated earlier that chicken head tack head wasn't race specific.
No. We talked about, cuz you weren't paying attention. See, you probably think about that roast you got in it, and roast you got.
And I interrupted you, because I didn't want to hear that bullshit about it. Oh, you don't know my wife. You don't know that she's a lady. I know that's where you was going to go.
Right, that was coming.
That's why I interrupted you, Black A.
But I also said that there's some ladies out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, ladies don't be like, don't get offended by it if it doesn't apply to you. Right? That's how it should go. If it don't apply, don't offend it. But if it does,
we got to have more empathy and sympathy for our young ladies than what you are saying right now. because their environment is as dysfunctional as the day is long. And you know it is, which is why you wanted to avoid it. We understand what a missing dad does in a home. We understand that.
Didn't hurt me. He's missing.
It even affected you, Tim, because you had told me yourself you a reform hoe. Well, damn it, you was a hoe, but you don't want her to be a hoe. Come on now, we got to stop doing that to ourselves.
I'm a reformed man whore.
You was a hoe.
I'm reformed.
But you calling her all kind of names because she was a hoe.
I ain't gonna relapse either.
Yeah.
Not no time soon. Hey, look, look, because I'm telling you, I have straight up conversations with my daughter, man. I don't know if I could talk about it like what, but I tell her, I told her and my stepdaughter, I said, girls like you, I would have ran through y'all. Y'all easy prey. I would have fucking got up. That's all I would have did with y'all, because y'all easy. I would have ran the game on y'all, just bust one and got up through.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Lord, I'm just being honest. That's what I straight up and had those type of conversations. I don't sugarcoat. I don't know for what? Because the world's not going to do it. They're not going to water shit down for you. When you go out there in that world, it's going to be uncut. No chaser. So I'm straight up blunt with him, and I did the same thing with my son. But it is what it is. This is what's going on here. Don't fall in love with the first piece of dick that gets stuck to you. It ain't worth it.
Okay. Woo. This show has escalated quickly today. I just didn't see this coming.
Oh, don't let your daughter hear me.
We good, bro. You know it is.
Okay, I didn't know
Okay,
she
so
was out. I seen a message. I said, please don't let her be early.
no, you
He already
good.
heard
You
you,
good.
so I put the fa la 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 after what
You good.
said.
You good. You good. The challenge I'm having with the conversation is the challenge I have with Cuz all the time.
Okay,
And
I'm
the
glad
irony
I'm not
is,
the only one. Okay, I'm
right.
glad
Well,
I'm
what
not
the
the only
irony is, the challenge that he's having is the challenge I have with him all the time. Like, you're saying the women are responsible, they should do this, they should do that. And I've always said it's the men have to own their part in this. They have to be taught. They have to be cultivated and shown an example to the point where they begin to say that anything outside of this example is uncool. This ain't the way to do it. I shouldn't be that kind of guy. And we have elevated historically throughout the last 30, 40, maybe even 50 years of the black community, the conquest of the black woman or women in general. And so why are we shocked when we're of how we got here? And why are we shocked at why Tim would arrive at this place where he said, well, it's got to be the woman. She got to take the responsibility. We've been telling them that they got to take the responsibility. It was never right to say it. It was never right to allude to it. It has never been right to tell black men you have no responsibility to the community at large and its health and its self-esteem and its self-worth for the women that are in that community. So if we're not gonna, why are we gonna be shocked at this now when we've always said it like this? This is what we say to black men. We don't want to hold them accountable, and we don't have a plan in place to change it.
Well, hey, Lord, I think we do hold them accountable. We hold them accountable way more than we might admit to. But like I said, you're gonna have them girls out here who's not gonna take on that mindset. Talking about married to you, Carrie. I'm saving myself for my husband. I'm not gonna do what I need to do. You're gonna have some girls out there like it. So with those girls out there like it, there's gonna be opportunity for these guys to go out there and get theirs. That's when I keep talking about. You got to have good discipline.
But I'm gonna use your example, Tim.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna use it in the way of the animal kingdom, because that's what Stephon Kai did. He said, by nature, men are predators, make the prey harder to get. But lions don't care what prey they get. If one is hard to get, they just won't get that one. They'll just wait on a weaker one. When does the lion become protective of the entire herd? Not just the ones that he can get. And that's what I'm saying.
And that's why I was talking about big discipline. You got to, I tell men, protect yourself at all times.
But okay,
don't mess around. I encourage my son, don't have premarital sex. But if something happens, please protect yourself.
But I think it's even greater than that, though, bro. We don't have a wherewithal of intention with that black woman from the very beginning. So the fact that we're leading with pleasure as opposed to leading with purpose is the problem. We don't see a purpose in this woman other than our own self-gratification. So because my ejaculation is way more important than your feelings, I'm going to lead with what I want as opposed to what you want.
But you don't think most young boys are thinking like that?
I do think that they're thinking like that, which I am saying is the problem. We have not taught our young men to value these young ladies to a place where they say, it's not that I'm not going to not sleep with you because I don't want to. I'm not going to sleep with you because we both have future and purpose, and I don't want to mess up yours or mine just on one night. Now, if I see myself as being with you or wanting to be with you, then maybe we can start having that conversation.
But Lord,
I know what you're saying, Ron. I know what you're saying without saying it. Where are these black men that are going to do the right thing here? They're never going to do it.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
Okay, well, go ahead and say what you're going to say there.
No, I'm just listening because basically you saying you shouldn't be fucking at all then until you're ready to get married.
Well,
and I don't see that ever happening to to the fact that men or women are both going to say, I'm not going to have sex unless it's the purpose of marriage. I just don't see that happening. What I could probably see better is getting back to preaching and teaching what safe sex is. Getting back to preaching. If your ass does this and this lady happens to get pregnant, do the right damn thing. Be a man to that child. Help raise that child. Do the right freaking thing. And if you're teaching your boys to do the right thing, if something happens, you're going to change a lot of these kids' mindset. But we can't just be out here saying, just because, like as Mama Noise said, you see some titties out there and a big ass, you do tell them to go chase it. Stop putting the titties and the ass out. Cover them up.
Yeah, and you're right. And I was gonna say this: we sit there and say our boys need to value these girls, but in 2022, it's hard to tell these boys that because a lot of these girls don't value themselves, and that's the sad case. They don't value themselves. They listen to Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, and the Nicki Minaj. They see that and they think that's what it is.
And
but if they start,
because 100%, I agree. Men have 95% of the issue. I'll blame on a black man, and I'll tell you that to the day I die.
But Tim,
but if we're going to change this, we're going to need both sides in order to do it.
Tim, you said it sounds like these little boys don't respect the women because the women don't respect themselves, right?
No, I'm saying Lloyd was talking about teaching these boys to respect women and value women. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. But then when you do that and they turn around after they leave my house, all of a sudden they see these girls devalue themselves by the way they dress, by the way they talk, by the way they act, by the way they carry themselves.
Right.
It's like, damn, I'm going against the grain.
The boys are not going to respect them because they're not respecting themselves.
They're not seeing what I'm trying to preach for them.
Hold on. So why do grown ass men disrespect our women? Not the boys. Why do grown fucking men disrespect our women?
Why do they do it?
Why?
They never learn.
Oh, there we go. They never learn from a man that our women should be respected regardless of what they're doing.
Because I know you keep saying they never learn from a man.
It don't have to be a man to teach.
It don't have to be a man to do that.
Your mother can teach you.
Me and Tim grew up the same way. I grew up in a single family home with just my mother, and I respected my women.
My grandmother taught me. My grandmother taught me how to respect women, how to treat women.
It's a mentality. You have to have a certain mentality.
And I tell you this. The woman, my ex-wife, she taught me. She reinforced. This is how I want to be treated as a woman.
Well, listen, you ninjas. If the mama model,
praise God, boy, Lord, I know God is real because is trying to change it up. I'm gonna be an influence on you, cuz. I'm gonna influence you. Stop using that N-word. I'm gonna get you.
We've been using ninja for a while.
No, nigga, you crazy. No.
Oh my God.
I thought I had me one. I thought I had me one.
No. You gonna keep going.
We start the show with Ninja, but before the show is over with, Ninja turns into Ninja.
Good. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, I respect what you guys are saying, and I understand where it comes from. What we're all saying is we all have to do our work, both our males and our females.
Yes.
The reason why I'm so hard on guys, and I think this was what Mr. Norris was talking about, how he has an issue with what I say about it. The reason why I'm so hard on guys is because the reality is we are supposed to be. Now, I know some people may get offended by it, but we are supposed to be the leaders in our homes. We are supposed to be the leaders in our communities. We are supposed to be teachers of our kids. Our wives are there to nurture and love them We're there to teach them and give them guidance. That's what we're supposed to do. I'm not saying a mama can't do that, but if that model was so damn successful, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now.
If the other model was so successful, we wouldn't be where we at today either.
I let you niggas talk.
I'm just answering your question. I'm just answering your question. I understand, but I'm asking your question.
Listen. If that model was so successful, we would be a glaring example for others to follow. The problem is that but for the grace of God goes I. We don't know why you gentlemen turned out the way you turned out. But there was something that irritated you about the situation that you saw, and you said, you know what? I'm not going to do that bullshit to my family. That doesn't happen often. It happens, but not as often as I lived the life that I saw. Daddy was a hoe, I'm a hoe. Daddy was absent, I'm absent. We generally follow what we see. Some of us would say, you know what? I saw it and I despised it. Generally because we're so close to mom and we saw mom's pain. For some boys, that'll turn them around. But for most boys, they say, hey, it's in my blood. It's just the way I am. No, you're actually following what you saw.
Because let me say
this. Let me help males modeling the right thing to do.
Right. Let me say this real quick. I because I'm listening to everybody. I never needed a woman to respect herself at all for me to respect her.
Hell no.
That didn't matter. I didn't really care how you thought about yourself. You're a woman. I'm raised by a woman. I'm taught to respect women. That's the model. It has to be, to me, it's got to be that simple. Because here's the thing. If we go back to what Cuz said, and women are broken, if there are a lot of broken women out there because there are broken homes and broken families and missing fathers and, you know, disvalued women, low self-esteem women, to use Tim's word, chicken heads, attack heads. Okay, if we know all these things about women, then in order for us to reverse this shit, we have to be able to say, I value you regardless of what you think you are or whatever. Now, I say that because in order to do that, young men have to be taught to do that. They have to be taught that. It's not a natural thing out of your own mouth. It's not a natural thing. So you're asking to reverse a problem with no, we got to teach these young men to have that mindset. If they don't have that mindset, they're only going to continue on or perpetuate that which they've already been taught by the music and by the videos and by low self-esteem. Listen, Sunday, a college-educated woman with a college degree got on stage and bent her ass over in a thong outfit and said you can have all this ass if you want to in front of millions of people because that's what she thought would sell her music. That's where we are in society. We didn't see her talent. We didn't see her abilities. We didn't see her intelligence. We saw her natural naked ass.
But you want me to respect that?
If you don't respect it, Tim, she will never feel like it won't ever. It doesn't matter if she respects it. I gotta respect her, despite the fact that she don't respect herself.
We can despise the actions. We can hate the action, but we still must respect her as a woman. We have to start there. We have to go there, Tim. If we don't,
let me ask you this:
don't do it.
So you saying we should automatically respect a woman just because she's a woman?
She's a black woman. You damn right.
No. So let me ask you this then.
Wow.
Why don't men get that same respect just because we are men?
I'm not saying we shouldn't. Hold on.
No, from women.
Listen, I don't disagree with what you're saying. We all got to be taught the right way to do things. This is what we're talking about. Black men are not respecting black women. Black women aren't respecting black men. But the problem is we've made it into this damn chicken and the egg situation. Which should come first? Should the black man respect the black woman first? Should the black woman respect it? Don't matter. We all wrong. It don't matter. We all got to do better. We all got to make it up in our minds. Because here's the problem. While we're not respecting each other and we're visibly showing that to the world is saying, well, they don't respect each other. Why should we?
I agree with that. But let me talk about what Cuz was saying.
So when did you start calling out the nonsense that's happening?
That's why we had this show today.
So
this is us making an effort to do that. Yes.
If everybody needs to start respecting everybody, which I agree. Stop supporting the shit.
I couldn't agree more.
Well,
when does that start?
Well, I'll make full disclosure right here. I have not said this on air at all. Me and my wife were fans of Wild 'N Out, but as more and more kids start coming out, I stopped watching the show. I just can't keep supporting you, bro, and you out here doing reckless shit.
I will say is that my middle school students you can tell the environment that they are growing up in when I tell a student, the teacher said for you, I'm talking to a student in the hall, you need to have a seat and listen to the lesson and do your work. That's what I told the little black boy. That's what I told him. Now he told me I don't like her. So I don't have to listen to what she had to say. And I looked at him, I pulled him up real close to me. I said, look at me. Look at me. I don't care if you don't like her. That ain't got nothing to do with you sitting your behind in there doing your work, getting your education. But that sound like, but I could hear it. It came from the parents. They done overheard some parents talking about, well, I don't have to do so and so because I don't like them, or I don't have to. And so they feel like as middle schoolers, I'm going to go up in the school system and do the same thing. I don't have to do what the principal say because I don't like him. I don't have to do what the teacher say because I don't like him. And what do they say? These are the people that they're ready to slide into the penal system because they already got their minds made up what they don't have to do. So it's coming from somewhere, and we got to break this cycle.
Let Tim go. Tim, what was your statement?
No, my statement was you saying that the fathers are the teachers of the home, correct? That's what you were saying?
Right.
No, they're not. The first teacher in the child's life is a mother. It's always been a mother. Ever since she came from the womb, she's been teaching the whole time, and she's going to be at home with them it depends. If you decide to homeschool, you're going to be it's going to be the mother more than likely doing the homeschooling, not the father. He's going to be out there, bringing home the bacon. You know what I'm saying? Doing what he needs to do to provide for the family. So the first teacher is always going to be the woman.
Cuz.
Well, listen, here's how I look at it. As men, we got 4 on here. I don't know when the fuck I'll be with. But anyway, as men, every day, truthfully, guys, come on, let's be honest. Every day, we think and we ponder and wonder, what can I teach my kid about life and how I can prepare them for life. Mama can do that. Don't misunderstand me. Mama does it too. I never said mom doesn't teach, but moms are nurturers. Moms are caregivers. Yes, some moms have been hurt so bad that they refuse to allow their kids to go through that pain, so they're busy trying to teach them in that direction. But as men, we are builders of our families. We want to pour into them. Just like you, Tim, you said it. You set your kids down and you told your girls and you told your boys about life. That's what men are supposed to do. But we're not supposed to start at fucking 17 or once he gets a basketball scholarship or once he signs with the NFL team. We're supposed to do that shit when he's a little boy.
But because we're not going to spend as much time with the kids like the mother would.
That's our fucking fault. That's our fault.
No, it's what.
Yes, sir.
Brother, that's what it is.
My wife doesn't have more time with my daughter than I do. That's impossible.
It's not impossible.
Let me ask you this: is your wife a stay-at-home wife? Does she have a job? She works.
No, she got to get out there on that street, make that money.
Oh, but listen to me. Their kids are going to mad. Man, I don't like the way you said that. It just make it sound like you a goddamn.
That's why you got it, Tim.
And your wife's a woman of the night. I don't like how you said it, cuz.
That's why he got the button.
Hey, cuz I'm gonna fight you for her. Man, how about that?
That's why he got the button right there. That's why
Tim, you know that shiny, when you go fish, you got that shiny lure?
And listen, in every household, couples have to come to an agreement when you have kids.
I agree.
It's difficult for both people to be very ambitious at the same time. Somebody has to take a step back and say, you know what? This kid has to be taken care of right now. So in every family, they make the decision on who's going to be the primary breadwinner and who's going to take a back seat for a time period. But now after that time period, it's time for you to do your job too. So I understand what you're saying, that the mom is home and the dad is out making the bread. But that's only in homeschooling should she have more quality time. If that kid is going to school, you should both have equally quality time with your kids. You have to make the effort to do it.
I can tell you right now.
I worked.
Me and my wife both worked. Lloyd knows. Everybody who knows me on here, we work. I worked way more hours than my wife did. My wife was home with the kids way more than I was home with the kids because I worked to bring in the majority of the money. So we could have a comfortable, sustainable life, which means our conversation was, you're going to end up teaching them probably a little bit more than I did because unfortunately I got to go and work 75 hours a week to make sure we had
that was a season. That's not your entire season.
No, that was a life. That's not a season. That's a life.
Still working that many hours?
I'm still working that many hours. It's a life.
And look, her kids naturally gravitate towards their mothers anyway.
That's not totally true.
Because it takes so much money that you gotta have.
Boys love moms, girls love dads.
I understand what you're saying, but they gravitate towards their mothers more than their fathers. Because guess what? Fathers are more likely the disciplinary, right? So
he's the enforcer.
There you are.
Right.
So then they're gonna be like, well, if I have something to talk about, I'd rather talk to my mama because I know she's more maybe not as harsh, maybe a little bit more understanding or sensitive, or maybe I feel like I can get over on her compared to my dad. He ain't going for that bullshit.
But I think those boundaries are groomed at an early age.
They are.
If you groom your sons and daughters or whatever, hey, you can come to me, with anything. Then I think you're better off.
You tell them that, but you also gonna see them gravitate towards the mama. I know my son does. He'll go to his mama first because he know daddy gonna say no. No, you good.
I tell everybody.
Buddy, you good.
My son's a titty baby.
And he'll tell you. He said, I'm a mama's boy. I said, dog, back in my time, we wouldn't accept.
What the hell?
It wasn't cool to be called mama's boy. But if that's what you want to be known as, I don't blame. That's you.
My daughter comes to me first for every single thing.
That's a blessing.
Because daddy made a concerted effort that no matter what, I was going to be in her life and active. In other words, I'm not going to go to work and come home and say I'm too tired to spend time with you. I'm not going to spend time out there on a Saturday or a Sunday doing things that's just pleasing to me and not spend time with you.
Because I'm saying we all did this. Every guy in this box.
I take aside time every year to travel all over this country with my child alone. I make the time to spend time with my child. We're leaving on June 9th. We're going to do the entire northwestern part of the United States. Just the two of us. So if you want to have that time, you can have that time.
And because 100% we'll clap our hands to you doing that. But every guy on this thing does the exact same thing, dude.
But everybody don't work 75 hours either.
They don't work 75 hours, but I work 75 hours, and on the weekends, and when I come home, I still deal with my kids.
Okay.
I go to games. I'm at the games. Goddamn, I even coached at the same time my kids was playing on the same goddamn team and still went to work every day. We take vacation with the kids. But again, a lot of times the wife who sometimes has more hours in the day will end up teaching your kids more because she has the extra hours in the day than what you do. But yeah, we still spending the same amount of time. We still coming home, tired as a motherfucker, doing homework with your kids, teaching them stuff that you need to teach them. Still do the same thing.
Hey, my son's mother was the one having communication with the teachers, emailing. Now she will copy me in on the emails. So I'm aware and I'm abreast of everything that's going on. I know what's happening. But she's the one taking charge of that because she spends the most time and she has the most flexible schedule to do such. Like my man said, my schedule's not as flexible for me to do that. So she has that. So when things like that happen, he's going to spend more time because he has more information than I do. I'm getting it secondhand or third-hand at times.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the situation. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's all apples to apples and all. Yeah, it's. But I think the thing that we're all trying to say is time or work is not an excuse for you to exonerate your responsibility as a father.
I don't think we've ever said that. We've never said time is an excuse. We just simply stated the women will have more time depending on the situation to do the teaching. We never said we wasn't teaching.
Maybe.
But we never said we wasn't teaching with our kids. We wasn't spending our time with the kids. God damn it, we've been in the hospital because we were spending too much time doing the other shit and not take care of ourselves to make sure we were taking care of our kids.
Right.
So it's again, it goes back to accountability of the man. Either he wants to be a damn father, he wants to be a goddamn dad, or he does not. That's what it goes down to. And you have to make an effort to do that. And that effort is going to be fucking hard.
Well, and to bring it back to the center, go ahead, cuz.
The reason why I was debating you guys on that subject, too many of us believe fatherhood is just providing. That if I go to work and come home and pay the bills, then I am your dad, I am your father. And then we'll turn around and tell a son, boy, don't you know better? The boy should look at dad and say, did you teach me better? Because we haven't taught him any damn thing, but we've provided.
And again,
so that's why I was debating you guys so hard on that.
And that's kind of why that's why we said what we said. It's not that.
Okay.
Sometimes if we would have believed that, if I'd have believed all I had to do was pay bills and I'd be there, because I would not have had 2 fucking heart attacks trying to be here in my kid's life.
But a lot of us do believe that, Ron. A lot of men believe
I think it's
word is tied to my wallet.
But I think it's more guys like us than what you really think. I think there's more cats like us than what you really think.
More what now?
There's more guys like us than what you really think. I can probably name all my friends are in the same boat that everybody on these screens are in.
That's your circle.
And all of them take care of their kids and they just bust their ass to raise their kids.
All you gotta do is look across town and you won't see that example. That's your circle.
I see that example a lot more than you think.
Yes, it is.
Let me tell you. There's a bad stigma out there for as far as black fathers don't take care of the kids. That's not true. Black men take care of the kids. Black men take care of their kids more than any other race of men. Black men.
Brother, I'm struggling with that statement there. I'm struggling.
I promise you, they do.
I'm struggling. Is that a feel-good statement so we feel better about black men?
No, that's facts. Stats. Look at the stats.
Stats?
Blackdemographic.com. Look it up. Look it up.
Is that because of the percentage of people we're only 17% of the United States. Is that why the numbers vary?
Maybe, but that's the numbers. It could. That, like you said, it could be the reason because it's such a small percentage. That could be the case, but we do.
Well,
When
why
it's
then?
based, when it's based on the percentage, your stuff is a little more equal when it's based on the percentage versus the raw numbers.
So then, why do most of our friends and associates have the story that the majority of the men on this here screen have? Daddy wasn't in my life. The majority of the men in this screen have that story.
I mean that could be the case, and that's the situation. But doesn't mean that the numbers doesn't show we just victim of we just part of that negative percentage. But there are other good percentage that was taking care of their kids and was in their kids' life.
See,
and here's the funny thing, cuz
I could look at my uncles, my my grandfather, my great grandfather. They all was in their kids' life, took care of my mother.
Is it? See, I'm like, Tim, I'm having trouble seeing that. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying I'm having trouble seeing that because, in the industry in which I work, I would say 85, 90% of the women that I work with, Black women, are women, single mothers, and constantly complaining about deadbeat dads.
Yeah, I went to the thing. It says that 30% of African Americans are married. Yes, this is as of 2019. 33% of Black men are married. 27% of Black women are married. 30% of Black people, period, are married, which is the lowest of all of them. 50% of Asian people are married. 52% of whites are married. 43% of Hispanic. 30% of Blacks.
But go back to cuz just to, like you say, looking at my circle.
This is an interesting thing. I'm about to look at it. Thank you for bringing this up too, Tim. I didn't even
when I look at my circle, when I look at my circle of friends, I'm gonna pick out of my friends. I'm just gonna pick 10. All 10 of them came from a 2-family home. I'm the only one that didn't come from a 2-family home. But we all got the same struggles, we all have the same problems, and we all are in our kids' life.
My circle.
It tells me there's more Black people out there that are actually raising their kids and taking care of their kids from what I've seen. And if I look at my own family, my own, as you won't say, dysfunctional, broken family. Only a couple of us in my entire family didn't grow up with their fathers. I got a very big damn family.
Listen, my circle of friends, they're all married men and they're all raising their kids. Am I foolish enough to believe that that's across the board in the Black community? I don't associate with niggas that don't take care of their kids. I don't associate with single men. I just don't. I'm not going to go out with you and we're not going to hang out and party. No. I know me. If you married, I'm married, we can hang.
I socialize with a lot of single guys that take care of their kids.
But let me ask you this: how are you ever going to get the nuclear family unless you associate with single people?
Well,
you have to. Just like the little Lord had to go, he had to go in the land of the heathens to get these people saved. In order to do that, you have to go in the land of the heathens.
I understand what you're saying, but you don't have to be my friend. We can socialize. I can associate with you. Hell, I can talk to anybody. I can encourage anybody. But what you ain't gonna do is come over to my house and hang out with me as if we bosom buddies, and my wife sitting there looking at me thinking, nigga, where you going with that single man? That would never happen in my life. I will never do it. Now, you bring your wife over here and we want to hang out as a family, let's do it. Hold up the drinks. Let's have some fun.
Who said anything about hanging out? What if he just over your house just to, break bread?
I'm talking about friends in general. I mean, when you invite somebody to your house, generally speaking, that's a friend. I don't allow anybody up in my house. I just don't.
That's a different issue. That's a whole different issue, though.
Oh, okay. I appreciate the enlightenment on Cody.
You got to show me you got to show me that you value family, that you value your kids before you come up in my house. We're not hanging out like that.
But so single people can't value family and value kids?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
Come on,
that.
Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they can't. I can talk to single people. Hell, I'll be single, and I respect the brother. I just said it earlier. Okay,
But you can't hang with him.
For my circle.
You said you can't hang with him though.
I'm saying for my circle.
Right, man. We was making plans to go watch football. I guess
I
that's
guess
Come
he
on,
ain't.
man. Come on out.
No, he's single. He's
Al,
single.
I hang
He's
with you
single.
anytime, break bread with you.
My point is.
Did he just give you the finger? I mean, what is happening?
My point is.
Damn.
My point is, Al B was married and went through a situation. Okay, we understand that. I'm talking about them niggas that don't believe in marriage and just banging and slapping and japping and don't want to tell me, I'm still looking. Nigga, what you looking for?
The right one.
Well, look here, man.
Right.
Hey.
Keep looking. And none
That's
of
your
us
pastor.
none of us believe when we got married that we actually married the right one. We had to work on that thing.
What?
Oh,
Huh?
yeah, we had to work on it. You guys have already said you had to work on it.
But that don't mean we didn't think we married the right one.
I'm saying you had to work on it. It was not easy. You had to work at it. So whomever you marry, you're going to have to work at it. So what
You are,
but she was the right one that I want. She was the right automobile that I wanted to fix. She was the right setting for.
If you are a man, and I believe the brothers on here are, if you are a man, a woman will follow you a whole lot quicker than you think she will. Just be a man in her life.
But she was
takes
the right
more
one
than just
for me.
being a man, though.
Yeah, she was the right one for me, even though I know how to put work in. I mean, she still was the right one.
You know, not every woman's gonna submit to a man. Not every woman's built for that.
No, I'm not saying
Every woman's not built for that.
I'm saying a lot more women that you consider chicken heads and knuckleheads or whatever else you call them.
Tacky heads.
A lot more women will follow
Shout out
you
to the tacky heads.
in her life. And she can be a damn good wife, but because she came from a broken situation, you have categorized her as something other than what God wants her to be.
No, hey, because if she like it, I'm gonna encourage her to get some therapy. I can't. You should no man marry a broken woman unless she's gonna get therapy.
Oh shit! Hell, hang up the phone.
I'm serious. You have to, because let me tell you this: if she brings that broken life and that broken mentality into your home, that's not gonna be a pleasant home, brother. That's not gonna be a pleasant home. She's got to get some help. Now,
wait a minute, hold on. I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You're saying no. You said no man should bring a broken woman to his life and marry.
Marry. I said marry.
Right, marry. That's why we say the same thing.
No, bring it to a life is one thing. Marrying is totally different.
So
I done took some broken chicks and sexed them down. That don't mean nothing to me. I moved on.
So I want to. I gotta ask this question.
But if I'm going to marry her, I have to do what I have to do to get her right.
Okay, Mama, I'm gonna let you go first, and then I gotta respond.
Go ahead, Kanye.
Oh, I got to
Q&A with Hank. Let's go.
I got to know. So you were whole when you married? You married your wife? You were whole?
No.
So your requirement is that she be healed, but you don't have to be?
No.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying, brother, because this is a recorded show.
Now, what I'm saying is, if I'm going to marry this woman, she can't be broken. I'm gonna get her some help. She's gonna get some therapy.
And before you marry her, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so what if it takes her 15 years to get the help?
Then I'm moving on.
Did you get your
therapy? Now we got to the source of the problem.
Huh?
Did you get your therapy?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now we get to the source of the problem.
Yes, sir.
I got it. I got it now, Tim. Hold on. I got it. I now I hear it. Because I hope you heard it and the rest of you heard it. Because if we don't have black men in our community who broke the women that are not patient enough to see them through the unbrokenness,
This ain't gonna never change. And see, that ties this whole evening together. Yes. We don't have the patience. Yes. Before we start tearing our own shit up.
Hold on, time out now. You saying, Lord, you did say 15 years.
I'm saying, here's what I'm saying, Tim.
You
I'm
said,
saying, I got you. I said 15. I did. But 3 years, 1 year, 6 months.
That's different.
18, 19, 20. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality. Here's the reality, Tim. Here's the reality. Here's the reality.
Okay.
The woman you married that you thought wasn't broken is still broken. You just ain't uncovered the broken part yet.
Well, I'm hoping our therapist does.
So do you think a woman that's been broken and for 32 years, she hasn't known anything but trauma and brokenness, you think she can be fixed in a 6-month session?
No, but look here. First things first. I'm gonna get her some therapy, right? That's the key. Now
that is key.
If she's in therapy trying to get fixed and she's showing some improvement, I'm there with you. But if you're not, then you're wasting my time.
Oh shit!
And I'll leave you at the restaurant.
I need a new drop, and the drop needs to be called shit. Oh shit!
I'm gonna leave you at the restaurant.
Ooh, well, now we see
if y'all don't know what that leave you at the restaurant means, it means
no, we know what it means. Anthony Bruce said, "How much of my life do I spend on her brokenness?" Well, the vow said, "To death do you part." I was gonna say,
you got to be married first.
You haven't watched the show because we've already stated as long as it takes.
But hold on, time out. Did y'all not hear what I said? Before I marry her, I didn't say I'm married to her and I'm gonna leave her after.
But you're not being honest though, Tim, because you said you have a timetable on her getting her shit together. And if she ain't got it together in a certain amount of time, there'll be no marriage. And I'm saying to you, the chances of a black man in 2022 marrying a woman who is not broken in many, many, many places, for her to get it together in 6 months is very slim.
First of all, Lloyd, I'm gonna say it again. I didn't say nothing about getting together. She got to be perfect in 6 months, but I'm not going to get married in 6 months. I'm not going to be married in 6 months.
Whatever number you want to put on it, it doesn't matter.
In that time period that I'm trying to help her get fixed, that's part of my vetting. That's part of my vetting process. I'm courting her. I'm courting that woman during that time. If I feel like she's wife material. Now, if she's not, then I will take my losses and I will move on. Because I want to make sure it's invest all of this in her, and I end up in divorce court 5-10 years later because she never want to complete the process of trying to get healed.
Okay, let me ask this question. Let me ask this question because maybe there's a disconnect in the language. Are you saying that if she's willing to work on the issues,
yes,
and she proves and demonstrates she's willing to work on the issues,
yes,
you'll marry her?
Yeah, as long as she's still going to counseling, yes, I will.
What if she stops going to counseling, but she's still working on her issues?
Why you stop going to counseling?
Maybe she's done with that. Maybe they ain't helping her. Maybe she needs you to help her.
I'm gonna be helping you while you're in counseling.
Oh man, this is rough, boy.
I'm just, Lord, hey,
these standards are rough, brother.
I'm telling you, my last name means something to me, and if I'm gonna bless you with my last name, I'm gonna help you get right because I care that much about you. Now, regardless if we make it or not, I still hope you get your counseling. I still hope you get that help and get yourself right for the next man. It just won't be this man.
I think it's an anomaly to think that the light in a relationship shines in all the dark corners prior to marriage.
You're right.
I think there's always going to be things revealed after the nuptials, and then how do you deal with those? And then are you prepared to stay in the fight when those things reveal themselves?
Look,
are you prepared to stay in the fight? Let me give you a Prince. Hold on, Tim. Let me give you a Prince quote.
Okay.
Because he said, the prophet Prince said, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if the somebody was me? What if you the problem? Are you still gonna marry her? Yeah. Are you gonna stay married to her? If you the reason why she's broken?
If I'm the reason why she's broken, I'm gonna walk away. I'm going to walk away. If the counselor sit there say, Tim, you're not good for this woman. She's not good for you. I'm gonna walk away because we're not married. I'm not obligated to her in no type of form of fashion because I'm not married to this woman.
Okay, what if you are married to her and you still the problem?
Okay, well now things change. That's totally different then, Lord.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Okay, all right.
So now she's going to counseling, I'm going to counseling, and we're going to marriage counseling.
Okay, all right.
So I'm gonna have a lot of co-pays I'm gonna have to pay, but I'll be willing on doing it.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so you just saying it's better to divorce before you get married than after.
Nobody wants to go through divorce.
Right. I got you. Nobody.
You. Okay.
All right.
It's not a pleasant sight. It's not fun. It's costly.
What is brokenness?
It depends on who you ask.
And I guess that's where my head is always. What do we consider brokenness? What is it?
Lord, what is brokenness to you? Because you know, it was a question.
We'll get 6 different answers. We'll get 6 different answers in these boxes.
Well, we definitely gonna get 6 different answers, and maybe that's a longer show. Maybe that's Thursday's show. How about that? That's a longer. I mean, I think that's a longer topic, because I don't. Here's what we know in general, without getting into the specifics of the definition. Here's what we know in general: there is a barrier or barriers that we are either born into or are cultivated along our journeys that keep us from functioning emotionally, mentally, or spiritually the way that we should in what could be deemed a normal behavior. And so if we do not address those things will become problematic in our interactions and our abilities to love one another.
So what's an example of a barrier?
We've already talked about that. The missing father, the abusive situation. It could be it's so many. That statement's loaded and broad. It's just too big.
Hey, Lord, let me say this. I promise you, a woman wouldn't stay with a man if he wasn't on his purpose and about his business.
They stay with him all the time.
No, I said a good woman would not stay. Now, these ticket heads, these tag heads, they will. You find a lady, a woman she will not. If a man is not on his purpose.
Tim, are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Come on, Rick.
Jada Pinkett Smith stayed with Will Smith for 20 plus years, and that man has been on his business since she met him.
But what you say, he's on his business. I said, if a man is not on his purpose or his business, she ain't staying with him. I done seen a story about some woman left a man because he wasn't making making enough money, so she wanted to go hook up with a millionaire. That was just a story just released. A woman, she was on that Alabama show, some reality show in Alabama. She left her husband because he didn't make enough money. Good man, provided, got a good job, but since he didn't make enough money, she left him.
But there are mechanic women all the time. I agree with Olana. And hello, Olana. It's nice to meet you. I agree with Olana. There's fix-it women all the time. They think they can grab a tool set down from Lowe's and I'll make him better. I'll rebuild him. I'll make him stronger, faster, bigger, $6 million last longer. They do it all the time. So I don't believe that's true. I think, and one of the reasons why that's not true, because there's a shortage of men. So sometimes you'll just take a fixer-upper just to say you got a man.
Oh, Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, a Build-A-Bear. Right.
Build a nigga. Build a nigga, not build a bear. Build a Negro.
Well, we got to finish this on. We're coming back to this. Matter of fact, you already know the topic of Thursday show. What is brokenness?
Yeah,
Mr.
because one of the
Tim,
barriers you said I really don't agree is a barrier, but that's okay. We'll come back to that.
Is it my turn now? Is it my
Yeah.
turn now?
It's always your
Jump in there.
turn.
We got a
brother.
few more minutes. Go ahead.
And just like that, Mama Noise gone, get us on out of the show.
Hold on,
Is it
Cuz
my
got
turn?
something to say.
Give him the center square.
Hold on, the South got something to say.
Wow.
Mr. Tim, you willingly came on this show. And one of the things we pride ourselves in with this podcast, the primary reason why we have this podcast is because. So you were married once before.
Mhm.
Was it once or twice?
Once.
Once before. So this is your second marriage. You are married now.
No.
You're not married.
No. Sir.
Oh, I need to make sure to add that to the women inbox.
Now you create the
Tim,
problem.
we gonna have to hang together because we
Nigga,
can't
shut
hang
up
with
so
Jay.
I can finish my interrogation. Shut the hell up.
Now you done created the problem.
Oh, he gonna call for
Inbox
friends
is
now.
gonna be flooded.
Tim, I invite single niggas at my house, as Al would tell you. Single niggas can break bread with me.
Oh, see that there? That's some major shade.
All right, go ahead, cuz.
Listen, hurry up before he forgets.
He will forget. Go ahead.
Take me off so I can talk to Tim.
Okay.
So, Mr. Tim, how long were you married the first time?
17 years.
17 years.
Were you praying about it? What are you doing?
You've decided at this point to not get married again, or you keeping hope alive? I told you, Tim, we get naked on the show. We get naked. We tell the truth. We get naked.
He gets naked.
Don't let that Negro allow you to surrender your whole card.
No, I'm
What just happened? What just happened?
One single man to another.
Hey, we need a drop for them. We need a
He
drop
won't-
for them. Come on.
I don't know which one to play. I don't know which one to play.
The guy, he want me to give up my man whore card. I know that's right.
So how long, Tim, have you been divorced?
I know you sell it.
Oh my God, what is happening right now?
So then they ain't got to keep inboxing me, asking me. I just go ahead and put it on out there.
Oh my God, this is.
They like you asked if I was single.
Damn.
Oh Lord.
They
No,
do
you get
that
the
on
damn
this
button on that
show.
one.
How long have you been single, Mr. Tim? Divorced.
We got divorced in 2016. Now let me clean some stuff up with that.
Okay.
A year after we got divorced, we decided we was gonna try to get back together and make things right. So we got back together probably about 4 years, but I could never get over that hump because she wanted to get remarried, and I could never get over everything I had mentally, emotionally had to go through the divorce. So I could never get over that hump and got remarried. Now I had to go to counseling for that. You know, during my year while we was divorced, and then even when we got back together, you know, I was still in counseling. I'm still in counseling to this day, right now. Every Monday at 4 o'clock, I talk to a counselor. So I'm still in counseling now to get over my mindset of maybe possibly being remarried again, because I do one day want to get remarried. I'll get married. I'm not gonna say remarried. I'm sorry.
Not remarried,
I do one day want to get married. You know what I'm saying? And I know the Lord's gonna bless me with a beautiful lady. You know, so I do want to get married again. So is that your question, or is you working up to something else, my brother?
He's working up to something else.
He's working up
I'm
something.
surprised you can talk to me this long, being I'm a single man now. Me and Big Al single. We're gonna be in these streets.
He
We're
working
gonna
up to
put a
something
single man on
else.
the same side. There we go.
We're gonna be in these streets.
Single section now.
Shut the hell up. I promise you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously. This dialogue that I'm trying to have with you, this dialogue I'm trying to have with you is designed to be a blessing to other people. I'm not trying to set you up or ask no questions to say aha nothing. That's bullshit. I'm trying to help other people understand what we all go through as men, and I get it. I get it. I don't know if I ever got divorced. I'm not sure I would get married again.
I'm gonna be honest, because you can ask anything you want. I'll be honest with you.
Were you done with your line of question, or was this going somewhere?
You know, I had a whole list. You just kept talking. I couldn't.
We got a few minutes. We waiting on your black ass.
Go ahead, cuz. Go ahead. I'm here for you, baby.
Hit him with the Wakanda drop.
Hey, look like Mama knows
for
gonna record
real.
some of this, so she keep posting this.
But here's where we are with your line of question.
Are you done? Are you done?
Lord have mercy. Just
listen.
wrap that shit up.
I uncovered shit
that
wasn't known to the masses. So you ought to be thanking me for my line of questions. Yeah.
Now, can we get to the rest of the questions, or
I mean, you know, it depends on how much he wants to tell. I mean, how much he wants to discuss. I mean,
I told you I'm an open book, bro. Come on with it. Hey, look here. It's not even about me or my feelings. If I can help another black man out here with my story, I'm okay with that.
We've already settled that. We waiting on you now,
with my pain and my trauma. If my pain and my trauma can help a black man do something different, I'm gonna do that for him. Right on.
With that statement, Mr. Hinkle, you just bought your ass a free meal at the House of Jay. You get one free meal for a statement like that, bro.
I know that's right.
It has a time limit on that coupon too.
Go ahead, cuz.
After 17 years, was it that you were struggling in the marriage, or was there one event?
It was a multitude of events. Okay. It was one of those type of things, man. You know, I cheated on my wife. You know, now at the time when I did it, I wasn't happy. That's the reason why I cheated, because I wasn't happy. I felt like I was in a sexless marriage, and I wasn't going for that. I feel like I shouldn't have to go there. I shouldn't have to negotiate for intimacy from my wife, you know, whether it's physical intimacy or emotional intimacy. So I felt like I wouldn't get enough of that. So I sought it elsewhere.
So was it sexless before the
infidelity
stepped outside the infidelity, or was it
that's the reason I stepped out, because it was sexless.
Sexless, okay. And did you find out why it was sexless?
Well, you know, it was one of those things that she said her sex drive just wasn't as high as mine. Mm-hmm. She just didn't feel like it. She was tired when she comes home. She worked, you know, and I understand that, and you know, I can respect that, you know, but at the same time, you make time for things you want. And so, I mean, if that means we had to schedule time like for the weekend, I would have been cool with that. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the case. So,
how old were you when you got a divorce? You guys, how old were you all?
Are you asking both of them?
No. How old was she?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And you?
Well, it was 2016, so that's what 6 years ago. So I was 40 years old, probably 41.
And she was right around that age too?
No, she was 30.
It's too late to be doing math. It's too late for the man to be doing math. It
really is.
38, 39.
So you stayed in it for 17 years because of what? That's a long time.
Because I didn't believe in divorce.
You didn't believe
I wasn't a fan of divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the one initiated divorce. And so that's what she wanted, you know, and it's not like I can fight it and say, no.
Right.
Well, now
then she could do an uncontested divorce, and then I'd just be in a different situation, but that's what she wanted. So,
well, now that you've had the counseling,
Yes, ma'am.
Would you still feel that that's the same decision that you would make?
What
is divorce?
I didn't want divorce. That's what she wanted. So, I fought it. I fought it for probably another 6 months before I even signed papers or went through with it. But
Mm-hmm.
but I did that to try to, maybe try to fix our where we falling at, where what we could work on, where we can't. But she wasn't with counseling, and
Oh,
that
she
was
wasn't
one.
with counseling. Okay.
No,
She
she
wasn't
wasn't.
with it.
She didn't. She felt like it wasn't beneficial. She felt like it didn't work for us. And matter of fact, that was one of my stipulations in order for us to get back together is that we have to start going to counseling again. So, for a while we went to cancel, but then she felt like it was the cancel was more so on my side than her side. And
She didn't think she had any problems.
Well, no, I ain't gonna say she didn't think she had any problems. She just felt like the counselor was in favor of me more.
Oh, the counselor was trying to take your side.
Yeah. But I told her, I
okay.
said, there's gonna be days where that may be the case, and there's gonna be situations where he may favor your side. I didn't get mad when he favored your side. I mean, I agreed with you.
Tim, I'm gonna tell you something, man. And this is transparent as well. We've counseled couples that have gone through a similar thing, and man, I'm gonna tell you something. When you get to the side of that coin where the spouse that was cheated on has to take an ownership as to possible reason why the other spouse stepped out, that's a hard thing for that spouse to do, because they don't, in their minds, I'm the victim, and they don't see it as this is not a victimless crime. This is not one person is a victim, the other person is that's not how this works. There are reasons, valid reasons, why this thing has eroded to where it has eroded to.
And I used to tell all the time, 80% of the reason for our divorce was because of me. 80% was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
We got a divorce because of my actions and what I did, and the decision I made, the selfish decision that I made. So 80% of it was on me, and I take that.
So has she ever dealt with why she was the way she was, her brokenness, who she was as a person? Did that ever come out, or did she just not want to deal with her part in it?
I can't say what she that, but as far as me,
There was no group counseling, or there was not a lot of group counseling. It was individual counseling.
I had more individual counseling than she has, if that's what you're asking now. Yeah, I mean, and now when we went to marital counseling, we talked about, what happened in our marriage, but also, of course, we will always talk about her side of the family. She never knew her father. She never knew her father. So, and it was one of those situations. Her mom is a drug addict, and so she never knew who her father is, and her mother never gave her any information or wanted to share it. Talking about, you don't need to know, you're fine. And that, to me, that's the most selfish thing I ever heard. So
now everything you said tonight here makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. I get it now. I get it. Absolutely get it.
Thank you for your transparency, Tim.
Oh man,
absolutely,
brother. Matter of fact, what you doing Thursday? Because we all need to come back to this. This is a really powerful conversation.
And Tim, like I said, they already inboxing me, talk about where he located.
Holla at your boy.
I tell you.
I don't know why they inboxing you. Tim don't want you hoes.
Oh man. Okay, so Wednesday night we're gonna have the 5. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the NBA playoffs and the NFL and all of that. And then Thursday, we'll come back. We already told you what the topic is. We're going to be talking about brokenness. Yeah, it's time to shut this puppy down. But we sure appreciate each and every one of y'all. Tim, you rock, man, brother. This was amazing. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, man. And we thank everybody for being here tonight. Olana, you are welcome here anytime you want. Come on back through. And we do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. Till then, we'll be. This is Talkin NOIZ. We'll see y'all.